Here we go. We've been talking about it for months, and we are now 1 day away from the most epic card in MMA history. A galaxy of stars lined up to take part in UFC 300, which is going to be unlike anything we have ever seen before, and all of them set to make the walk across the stage in just a matter of moments. The final step for all 26 fighters before they walk to the Octagon at T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas on Saturday. Welcome inside, everybody. Here we go. It is my pleasure to be joined, as always, on the UFC 300 weigh-in show, brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. File with TurboTax by April 15th to make your moves count. And if
can't be too safe.
actions are any indication,
let me tell you something.
we have to protect ourselves from Quits Weidman.
The audacity of you guys.
What?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? There's a difference of accidental eye pokes.
Try your number one move right now.
Listen. Captain I can't get to you.
I'm still here. I'm still
All right,
here.
hang on. I need the mic for a second here because this is super disrespectful. You guys start the show off like this. First of all, what are you doing?
What do you mean?
Are you joking me?
This is serious
Listen,
business.
you only could do something like this on slap fighting because that's where you belong.
Chris.
All right?
Chris, stop. Don't be an asshole. Here's the thing.
Sanko.
No, here's the thing.
This
Chris.
is taking your attention away from doing a thirst trap Instagram post this week. I feel like you're down away.
Nothing will
Oh my
distract
God!
you.
And
Stop.
you,
No, stop it right now.
You're the only
You
person
stop it
ever
right
in
now.
the history of the sport that has intentionally cheated with the towel and denied it for years.
What?
This is
you
crazy,
came with
bro.
things in the chamber
Listen, man.
knowing.
No, you're all about being a fair fighter. You're completely against steroids and cheating and everything like that. I think you proposed like a lifetime ban on cheating with steroids. But when you're cheating weighing in, what do we get with that?
Hey,
Is there
Chris,
any ban
can I
on
say
that?
something? Can I say one thing? You see, you tried.
I can't get there.
You can't get there.
Guys, listen, let me also just say this. If I could intentionally eye poke someone in the eye, which I've never done before, and then this last one I eye poked the guy 4 times. If I could intentionally eye poke a guy on purpose, why wouldn't I just take my big old fist and put it on his chin and knock him out when I wanted?
I think it hurts more when you eye poke.
But how do you get to those little eyes? That's hard. If I could aim for the eyeball, why not just aim for his chin?
I
with
feel
my
like
fist?
he's getting worked up, so we should move
I gotta
forward and
defend
I'm
myself.
put these
It's
back
very
on.
Three Stooges.
I thought I was the man that night.
I'm
Jersey was
putting
going
these
crazy
back
for
on
me.
because he seems to be getting worked up, and when he gets
Animated.
worked up, those little fingers start coming towards your eyes.
We're gonna
I'm
have
glad
a
there's
lot
no weigh-ins
more
coming anytime soon for
on,
DC. Let me tell you.
Weidman's eye-poking situation.
Bad
in a minute, but
mentor
let's
for the
focus on the
people.
fight card, which is the best of all time, coming up on UFC 300 Saturday here in Las Vegas at T-Mobile. The early prelims on ESPN at 6 p.m. Eastern. 2 former champs kicking things off. Davison Figueiredo and Cody No Love Garbrandt. Jim Miller, the only man to compete in UFC 100, 200, and 300, taking on Bobby Green, former champ Jessica Andrade, facing fellow Brazilian ranked lightweights Jalen Turner and Renato Moicano, closing out the prelims on ESPN starting at 8 p.m. Sadiq Youssef looking to hold on to his spot in the featherweight top 15 against Diego Lopez. These guys almost all here, by the way, in terms of being ready to weigh in. This is a weigh-in show. 15 championship fights, including the co-main fight, are here. They're scheduled to be the first 4 as we move on to the main card here. And what an epic main card it is. This is being kicked off. Of course, the light heavyweight championship fight, Jamal Hill and Alex Pereira. John Anik joining us now. That is one of the sweetest T-shirts I've
Well, we had to harken back to 1993, the Ultiman logo, so thank you very much for that. I just have to say, the last time we did a for UFC 296 last December, so much more going on in here today. I can't necessarily articulate it for you folks, but just so much noise, so many fighters here, so much media here. I'm getting anxious just talking to you folks. Won't be long now, folks. UFC 300 tomorrow night. Let's go.
I know. I can't wait for your open. I've heard you say that this is one of those fight cards where you never had to check the name files because everybody on this card is a name brand. What has the preparation been like for UFC 300 for the voice of the UFC, John Anik?
Well, actually, in terms of the fighter prep, it has been a little bit easier. Oftentimes, as you guys well know, for these UFC pay-per-views, we feature a lot of highly touted prospects. There have been times where we have 5 or 6 rookies on a UFC pay-per-view, and DC and I and Joe have to do a deep dive on those athletes. for these athletes, I'm pretty prepared. And to your point, we didn't need the pronunciation guide. But the thought of Davison Figueiredo and Cody Garbrandt hitting the tunnel at 3:10 p.m. Pacific time is fucking absurd. And I would say to you folks, I don't think we're going to have a card this deep until 2032 at UFC 400. So hopefully fans enjoy it.
Yeah, pretty incredible. And of course, that fight kicks off the card leading up to the main event. Alex Pereira and Jamal Hill. And listen, the numbers say this is pretty close in terms of the odds, but I feel like Jamal has really been embracing that underdog mentality coming up Achilles. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so. And I think from a betting perspective, there are some similarities when it comes to the fight between Alexander Volkanovski and Ilia Topuria not all that long ago. I think a lot of people are thinking, man, Volk's just a slight favorite. How come? Because the challenger's really good. And certainly the Achilles is of the fight narrative when it comes to Jamal Hill, but he has left no stone unturned. Obviously, he looks like he's in tremendous shape, and I think he's really going to go for it stylistically. I think he's going to march across the octagon and try to make this a quick fight. It's a fascinating main event, and I think anybody who has followed Jamal's career is just really happy, given where he was at last July, that this moment, and this monetary moment too, is happening for Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill here tomorrow night.
And perhaps the people's main event, the BMF title fight, Gaethje and Holloway. Gaethje, 12 fights, 12 performance bonuses. But when you really look at Justin Gaethje, especially the last fight or two, I feel like he's taken a step in the right direction in terms of his evolution as a fighter. Did he talk about that at all in his fighter meeting? We
touched on it a little bit, and it's a great point, Hellcat, because this guy has been through a marked evolution. I thought Justin Gaethje was one of the best fighters of the year in 2023. Rafael Fiziev has been an oft-avoided guy at lightweight, and what Justin was able to accomplish against him, and then to capstone that by knocking out Dustin Poirier for the BMF belt, I do think if Gaethje's able to take care of business this weekend, he should be next for the undisputed title. And I think this version of Justin Gaethje can probably actually go win it. So we'll see what happens Saturday night, first things first. But Gaethje's certainly on the cusp of undisputed greatness, I think, if he can take care of business Saturday night.
All right, my dude, you have some work to do. Weigh-in set to start here in about 3 minutes. The voice of the UFC, John Anik, kind enough to join us as we move on to a little more main event talk. Alex Pereira and Jamal Hill, DC. He's getting thrown right into the fire, coming off a ruptured Achilles, which we've talked about all week, right? A lot of people have in terms of an Achilles was a career ender just years ago. We've seen Aaron Rodgers, who went to the same doctors, Jamal Hill, come back, or attempt to come back in less than a year. Didn't work out that way for him with the Jets. But here is Jamal, right? 9-10 months removed from the injury. You were playing in the basketball game with him. If you're coaching Jamal this week, it's just a little fun fact. I mean, it's not like you did it.
You were there for that?
Dude, don't mess with the bus, huh? I wasn't there.
I felt an implication.
Did you?
Yeah, you implied that I was a part of it.
I think you're taking it in an entirely different direction. Let's focus on the main event.
Yes, on the main event. First off, like I told you, my interview with Jamal comes out today. I told you what happened. I crossed him. And when he went to pivot, that's when he tore his Achilles. But reality is, I crossed him like AI did to Michael Jordan. Like he did to Michael Jordan. But anyhow, Jamal Hill said that when he was in his rehab, going through the process, he noticed it was just getting better, much faster than it should. And I think that is a very common theme lately in terms of these types of injuries. The ones that we thought were so bad prior aren't. And an ACL surgery used to be 9 months. Now it's like 6. An Achilles was at least a year. These guys are fighting less than a year later. Jamal Hill feels he's confident and ready to go. And I think part of the reason he was so intent on coming back against this guy is because he likes the matchup. But Alex Pereira feels the same exact way. And if we have seen him, or if to use any of his past as an indicator, you got to believe Alex Pereira.
He likes the matchup. He wants to pick up the belt that he set down, right? He never lost the belt, Jamal did. He wants to pick that belt right back up. But to face a guy like Alex Pereira after coming off an Achilles injury, a guy who leg kicks like that, who calf kicks like
That's
that,
the problem.
such a cornerstone of his game, it's not just that Alex is so good, and he is. It's how he's good. It's the way that he approaches the game that might, man, that's a big ask. I'm not saying he can't do it. It's just, that's a big challenge.
100%. I mean, the fact that he's coming back so fast and he's so dismissive of anybody asking him questions about, wow, this is a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Achilles tendon, that's a big deal. Everything that you have power-wise comes from that tendon. For the most part, it's a big part of it. And for him to just kind of dismiss it is completely crazy to me. I was talking to somebody that's really close to him yesterday, and they said that this was almost a blessing in disguise for him because when he had to give up the belt, he's seen becoming a champion, what that was like. You got all the friends and all these new fans that all of a sudden, you know, they start attaching themselves
all
to
of
you.
a sudden he was by
and then all of a
himself.
sudden he's coming out of the surgery room and there's nobody there.
Yep.
So it almost was like, holy crap, and he wants that back. He wants
wants
that
that
champ
life. But
he
that's the
wants that
danger.
champ life
Well,
back.
he
He's very motivated.
He said that, right? He goes, people don't understand what being the champion comes with in terms of your lifestyle. And he wants it to be back a part of who he is. But it's more than
115,
just
the
that,
official weight
right?
for
Dude wants to be
Yan
the champ because he feels
Xiaonan.
he's the best.
Chip on his shoulder.
Look,
Big chip on his
Yan
shoulder.
Xiaonan just weighed in for
All
a
right,
championship
next fighter
opportunity.
to the scale, future
Massive
UFC
power,
Hall of Famer, the former
unbelievable fighter.
undisputed
I'm so
featherweight
happy to
champion,
see that
fighting
she
for the BMF belt here
is
on
fighting for
Saturday
the
night.
championship.
Max Blessed Holloway.
This is Max Holloway. Look,
156,
Max Holloway
the
is one of
official
my
weight for Max Blessed Holloway.
great friends, great friend of the program, 156 pounds. Massive opportunity. He said that this puts him back in line to fight for the welterweight championship, which he feels means so much. He feels means so much to him.
Justin Gaethje.
And now you got Justin Gaethje, another badass. I mean, this is one of the most violent.
156, the official weight for the highlight, Justin Gaethje.
156 for JG.
Your BMF
He
title belt
loves
is
defending the
now
BMF
official.
championship because he loves what it stands for now.
All right, next athlete
he said
to the
that
stage, one of the
he's
best
fighting one of the
pound-for-pound
best fighters in the world.
the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC
And for a
strawweight
BMF title.
champion,
And weight
Magnum
156,
Zhang
not
Weili.
155. Championship weight is 155, but the BMF title, you can be 156. That's
more
a rule.
flexibility, yeah.
That's the rule that we put in place to make sure that the guys didn't have to lose that extra pound.
Like you say, like you had something to do.
You got that extra pound of like badassery, you know, hanging in there. So obviously Zhang Weili, current reigning, defending now
115,
champion
the official
of
weight for
strawweight.
Zhang Weili.
And she really has come into, I feel like, a second
Strawweight championship
phase
fight is
in
now
her
official.
career. Tremendous grappling at this point. We already knew she had the power on the feet. I mean, she looks to be a force that could stick around at the top of this division for a
All
long
right, next
time.
fighter
but
to the
a big
stage, an
challenger this weekend in
International
Yan Xiaonan.
Boxing Hall of Famer, former undisputed UFC Women's Bantamweight champ, and the number 5 ranked contender, the preacher's daughter, Holly Holm.
All right, here's Holly Holm, the preacher's daughter, now 42 years young, just 2 fights in the last 3 years. Coming off that unanimous decision victory last March over Yana
136
Santos,
pounds,
the former
the official
bantamweight
weight
champ,
for
coming in
Holly
as a
Holm.
massive underdog to Kayla Harrison.
She is ripped, boy. Look at that.
But
All right, next fighter
she's
to
ready,
the scale,
and
one of the best light
we've seen before
heavyweights
what
in
happens
the world.
when she's a massive
One half
underdog,
of the
right?
featured prelim live on ESPN, the number 5 ranked contender, Alexander Rakic.
Speaking of ripped, did you see the pictures that he's been posting on his
Man, come
Instagram?
on.
Alexander Rakic is absolutely. Guys, I can comment on a man's
206,
physique without it being
the
weird.
official
Okay?
weight
I'm
for
very
nobody said
excited
that.
to see him back in action. We haven't seen him fight in almost 2 years. Blew his knee out. I have been a big fan of
He
his
running.
as a fighter.
All right, next
Yeah.
fighter to weigh in
He's
this morning.
doing
really
He's
good.
ready to go get
13 ranked
hydrated.
UFC featherweight contender, Super Sadiq Youssef.
Sadiq Youssef is a guy that so many people had such high expectations for. He finally seems to be on his way. He's won 2 of his last 3 fights, and he's won 8 of 10. Sadiq Youssef is a tremendous striker, and the intensity.
146. the official weight
146 for Sadiq.
Youssef.
The intensity at which he's approaching his striking game now shows the evolution. He can't be taken down as easily as before either, so it's allowing him to be more free with his attacks,
All right,
and it's
next athlete
showing
to
in his
the
results.
scale, one of the most popular fighters in the world, future Hall of Famer, and the former undisputed UFC lightweight champion, Charles do Bronx Oliveira.
Here we go. Charles Oliveira, former UFC lightweight champion. This is a guy who I started my career with. We started in Jersey in the Ring of Combat, and he always was so aggressive. And it's crazy how like he had made a lot of mistakes early in his career and how he's tuned it up now. He's been looking so good. 156 for Oliveira. I know
They were
weight
talking
cutting was
like-
always tough.
Sean, they were
but-
talking like
Bronx
early in the
Oliveira.
week he was having problems. Oh, Charles Oliveira's heavy. Nope. Charles Oliveira's a pro.
He was here
He's a
since
pro.
8 a.m. by the
Yeah,
way,
he
so
got it
feeling
done.
pretty good, ready to roll.
Yeah, got it done.
His resume,
All right,
I mean,
next
every time I
athlete to
remind
weigh
myself
in.
of
He's
it,
so
I start
good,
reading
man.
it, it's like
Competing in
he
the
has
first
fought
fight of the night,
everyone.
He's a beast.
Everyone.
He is
And he's
so
one of the
good.
few guys who could knock you out or submit you.
yes.
Like, there's not too many guys like that.
Cody No Love Garbrandt, fighting out of Yorksville, Ohio, by way of Las Vegas, Nevada. Hey DC, how important do you think the wrestling is going to be in this fight?
It's going to be massive.
136, the official weight for Cody
136
Nolov.
for Cody No Love, but he's going to have to mix it up because when he was at his best, he mixed in the wrestling with the tremendous
Next
boxing
fighter
that he had.
to the
So yeah, he's
scale
got to
is his
use the
opponent,
wrestling if he
the
wants to get it done.
two-time
It'll keep
undisputed
him
UFC flyweight
out
champion,
of
now the
danger
number 8 ranked
with
bantamweight contender,
Davison Figueiredo, who
James
punches so
DeGeha
hard.
Davison
We've seen how
Figueiredo.
much potential he has, but sometimes he got himself in trouble with like getting a little bit too emotional. And so we'll see if he could control that for this fight.
And here is Davison Figueiredo waiting, the former champ, opening up the card.
135 and a half.
How
The
happy
official
is he
weight
to be
for
at
Davison
bantamweight?
Figueiredo.
That cut to flyweight for him was so difficult.
Yeah. But you know what? It's crazy. Even talking to Aljo, like, it's always hard, no matter what.
It's
you go
always
up a weight
hard.
class,
Yeah,
and you think it's going to be
regardless.
easier, and then towards the end, it always sucks.
Well, unless you go to heavyweight, that's
That's the way to
you
go.
know it
All
don't
right, next
suck.
athlete to weigh in, one of the most accomplished in UFC women's history, the former UFC strawweight champion and now the number 4 ranked contender, Jessica Andrade.
Former UFC strawweight champion. I mean, she is a finisher. With a win tomorrow night, she will go down as having the most wins in women's history with 17. And with any type of finish, she's going to have the most finishes in women's mixed martial art history.
116, the official weight for the former champ, Jessica Andrade.
She always brings it. Super exciting. She puts herself in the danger zone, and she throws down.
I like her at 115.
All right, next fighter to
Yeah.
weigh
I
in
think
this
she's
morning,
best suited.
competing
And I
in a
think she still
featherweight
has that
prelim
power,
live
you know?
on ESPN, Diego Lopez.
Diego Lopez is one of the funnest guys. Now, he's starting to build some momentum. And when you watch him in there right now in these last 2 fights that he's won, the performances are explosive.
146.
146. Now, he's always had
Lopez.
ability, but now you see him carrying a swagger and a confidence about himself that wasn't there before. And because of that, he feels he can get anybody out of there, and he's approaching the fights in that manner. That's why he's looked so good lately.
Prelim live on ESPN. He is the former undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion.
Hello everyone, I'm Jiří Procházka from Brno, from Hoštěradice. And the question is, what do you think? What's my advantage to this fight? And what's the advantage of the wreckage?
Wow, Yuri's producing the show. He wants to give me a breakdown, yo. Well, Yuri, your diversity in your attacks, your experience at the highest level is going to be one of the advantages you have. And for Rakic, it's being fresh. I think the time away will help Alexander Rakic because it will allow for him to reset the thoughts from before.
My name is Aljamain the Funkmaster Sterling. I'm fighting out of Uniondale, New York, now residing in Las Vegas, Nevada. Man, I'm super excited about showing the world a new version of myself. Chris, I gotta ask you, in case my wrestling doesn't work, should I just go straight for the eyeballs?
You bastard. I mean, bro, that's messed up. I feel like he's smiling on the scale right now like we're listening to it, and he knows. Bro, I mean, listen, 146, made weight. I was talking to him this week, and we were just saying it before. He was so excited not to have to cut crazy amount of weight. He wasn't thinking about it during training camp, but even this week, he's like, this sucks. Can't eat. He's miserable. But he's been looking great, and I'm excited to see how he does going up a weight class. Son of a...
How many times
All
are
right,
we
next up,
going
one
to
of the most highly touted prospects in UFC
Did anybody
history,
congratulate me for
kicking off
winning?
the pay-per-view.
Congratulations, by the way.
Bro, that's so crazy.
Guys, we got to talk about Bo Nickal, the biggest betting favorite in UFC history, bigger than he was last time, which is
186
absolutely massive.
pounds, the official weight.
86 for Bo Nickal. Obviously, one of the most decorated collegiate wrestlers to make his way to the UFC. But he is continuing to challenge himself. You know, this time he's facing a guy that has some real UFC experience, and he's a guy that has, frankly, a lot to lose, a lot on his shoulders.
A lot. There's a lot of people rooting against him. He got booed.
Next fighter
He's
to
such
the
a
scale, the number 13 ranked UFC lightweight contender, the money man, Renato.
Hey guys, my name is Renato Moicano. I am fighting out of Florida, Coconut Creek American Top Team, and I have a question for DC. Hey DC, what's the best takedown against a tall guy?
156.
Best takedown against a power guy, DC.
Single leg. You put them on their leg, you make them start hopping around, moving. You don't just knock them off their feet with a double. Power guys can defend double legs because they use the power to stay upright. Get a single leg. Make them be athletic. Renato Moicano.
All right, next fighter to the stage. The king is in the building, the number 14 ranked UFC.
I'm Bobby King Green. I prefer just to go by King. But, hey guys, Laura, I got a question for you. Do you miss me sitting there next to you?
I feel about that, but yeah.
I like the laugh. The laugh is the laugh. It implies that you enjoyed him more than you enjoy hanging out with us. It's kind of messed up.
Yeah,
He's
he
pretty
does.
cool. He's pretty cool.
10 ranked UFC lightweight contender.
We had a lot of fun on the way.
He said pretty.
Here is Jalen Turner. Kind of an up and down year in 2023 after a couple of tough split decision losses to Mateusz Gamrot and Dan Hooker. Had an impressive short notice first round knockout of
the official
the
weight for
aforementioned
Jalen Turner.
Bobby Green. And he is in good shape here. Chance with a to make a statement win if he can take out Renato Moicano.
Next fighter to the stage. Good to see this man back for the first time in a long time. The number 8 ranked UFC featherweight contender, Calvin Kattar.
Man, Boston's own. I mean, he's actually on a 2-fight skid right now. He's coming off of ACL surgery. So it's going to be interesting. He hasn't been in the octagon in over a year and a half.
145.5, the official weight for Calvin Kattar.
And to come back and go against a former bantamweight champion, a guy like Aljo, it's a tough first outing, but he seems like he's ready for it. It's going to be interesting to see how he deals with the wrestling. I don't think he's really dealt with a wrestler like Aljo before, so we'll see how his wrestling defense is and if he can keep it standing and try to, implement his boxing.
He's got those hands, though.
He's got hands.
Yep.
All right, we have a little break in the weigh-ins. Let's take a little break here with a quick message from our sponsor, TurboTax.
Marcus is a connoisseur of anything that's free. So he was happy to read the disclaimer on TurboTax Free Edition.
Roughly 37% of taxpayers qualify. Form 1040 and limited credits only. See how at TurboTax.com. That's me!
File your taxes 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition and get your max refund guaranteed. Make your moves count. See if you qualify at TurboTax.com.
That's what I want. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go backwards.
Hey, do you guys know
we're doing
when you're just
television.
talking amongst each other that your mics are potted up and everybody on
Did
YouTube
you
around
actually?
the
He called
world
me
can
stupid.
agree.
He called me. I have my master's degree. I'm super smart.
he called me stupid.
Guys, never
Are you
miss a
coming
moment
at
of
that
action, by
thirst
the
trap
way.
thing? I just was kidding.
From your favorite UFC host, head over to UFC in studio on X, Instagram, TikTok for the best highlights of all of UFC's live shows and join in the discussion today. All right, we are going back to the scale. I have another fighter set to weigh in. This is Kayla Harrison stepping to the scale.
And this is a big deal.
Making her UFC
This is
debut with
most
She
anticipated
must
weigh-in, I think, of
two-time
the event.
Olympic gold medalist.
She fought
representing
judo
the United
primarily in the
States of
170s.
America, and
She
now
fought in the
competing in
PFL
UFC women's
at
bantamweight
155.
division.
This is her first
Kayla
time
Harrison.
attempting to make 135. So let's listen for this weight.
She looks jacked, too.
Yeah, she
She's
does.
skinny.
Jacked.
Blessed Express.
136, the official weight for Kayla Harrison.
Tremendous work for Kayla. I mean, that is impressive.
It's hard, man, to go down 20
There was
pounds.
a time she told me there's no way I could
RJ,
make
pick him up a little bit.
135. That had to take, I mean, the work that must have taken to get there.
Yeah. They try to
We
make
got
you
the
look
man
small,
here.
my guy.
Max Holloway in the house once again, and it's good to see you not racing DC on a bike or a skateboard. What was it the last time you were on the weigh-in show? I feel like that was forever ago.
No, I taught Dean Thomas to ride a bike.
That's
and
right.
Remember, I was a better dad because I taught my kid to ride the bike?
I won the shoe.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
I
he did.
won the shoe.
He did
It
win
was a
the
size
shoe.
13 shoe. I had to give it away.
Remember I beat you in the video game, too? I played with Max Holloway.
Yeah, you beat me in the game. You beat
And then
me.
you remember I taught Dean to ride the bicycle?
That's about it. You had shady chocolate milk, and what was the other one? Was another challenge.
Good
yeah,
baby
chocolate.
changing.
Yeah, the baby change, and he couldn't make chocolate milk.
You're
Yeah.
right.
How did you lose to him in a video game, though? He's not a gamer. You're a gamer, man.
He used me.
I
Oh,
used
okay,
Max
all right.
Holloway
That's
to get
cheating.
this.
That's messed up.
This guy
That's
is so
messed
good
up,
on the
yeah.
game, it's crazy.
He
cheat
used
mode.
me, and then he told me I had to use cater. That wasn't fair. They got to up cater's attributes, I swear. That was not fair.
Well, that was fun. We'll have you back on again to be a guest host, but more important business at hand. The second trip to lightweight for you this time around in camp. Anything feel different or do anything differently?
I just felt like we had more time. We had more time. We did the right way, and we get to go out there and show it tomorrow night.
A lot of people have been talking about your sparring, right? For so long, it seemed like you didn't spar at all. Now you're sparring a little bit more the last couple of fights. Has this been something that you've been kind of slowly but surely working in? Or
It was only for this fight. Justin, like I said, the number one word for this fight is violence. So we had to go get violent in camp. So, I went back sparring, cut my hair. A lot of people forgot who Bless is, so we gotta remind them come UFC 200.
You do have a little different haircut. You got rid of the pretty boy haircut. You went back to the Real Max Holloway.
Yeah. I was
why
almost
not
gonna go
fade?
full DC, come even looking like a bag of potatoes, but
Don't
I
act, you know what? I look like a bag of potatoes. You look like one last time you fought at 155. You look
Exactly, I
horrible.
was
That's
in
why
it.
you got
I
that
was
nickname
in it.
I gave you.
Yeah.
Hey,
You
no,
didn't give it a nickname.
I gave you that nickname. Yeah, I did. Max, so back to sparring. I heard a rumor, and I don't know why I got to hear this in the streets anymore when I can usually ask you. They told me you were sparring on Tuesday or Wednesday. You sparred Tuesday or Wednesday night?
No.
Was it light sparring or they
It was
said
movement.
we
We said
saw
that-
you at the Apex? They said we saw Max Holloway training Tuesday. It looked like he was sparring.
Oh, we was moving. That was just movement. I mean,
Oh, so you've been violently sparring.
but things might have get out of hand because it was a Tuesday at my man Michael Nakagawa. He doesn't know how to take a hit or how to go light, so we
Yeah.
put it on him, so it's fun.
But what is the feel now that the weight's done? You feel better, obviously, than going down to 145. You know you have this big fight on the horizon. What's the excitement level for you now after all the work is now in the bank and you look forward to tomorrow night?
Oh man, it's exciting. It's exciting, especially with the 300K bonuses.
Can you believe that? You know what's mad?
You made that
I
happen.
made that happen.
You made that
me
happen.
Me and Justin. So everybody who wins 300 on the bonuses, you guys owe me and Justin 10% each.
Were you the first one yelling out 300?
No, it was on a
I heard,
podcast.
I saw
right?
Gaethje yelling out like 100.
He's one, but we both talked to MMA junkie Mike, and we told him that we was going to ask for a bonus. I was going to go to 500, but when everybody was yelling like 100, I was like, brother, 300 at least. And then I said 300 twice, and then Dana went.
You know what kind of
That's
makes
crazy.
you know what pisses me off? Listen, not pisses me off. You know what pisses me the fuck off? Yeah, that's how mad I am.
wow.
You know how mad I am?
You can't say that when you
I
commentate.
know
Yeah.
that you and him are gonna get a bonus. And it's like y'all are gonna get extra money, and it's like it really makes me mad that you guys get that
Well,
much
that's
money.
what happened for not letting me fight on 200. Maybe we
I
would
did,
have
I
had 200.
did. Don't tell
Yeah.
nobody. Don't tell
Yeah.
nobody.
You
I
told
blocked-
everybody on
I
your damn
blocked him on
YouTube.
200.
Why'd you do that?
I mean, we're friends, and like sometimes dudes can't always get money.
Yeah. That dude Sadiq had a pretty good point. He was like, "Can we have it like where the early prelims get a fight of the night,
Yeah.
then the regular prelims,
They
and then
all
the main
know.
card?"
They're like,
The problem
they're
is
good
Max
at
and
getting
Justin
it.
going to get
it's-
performance and fighter tonight. Them dudes about to make $1 million.
Yeah, but Dana had a good retort. He said there's $1.2 million in bonuses on this card you can go get.
Dana's a number man, so he knew, but
That was quick.
that'd be cool. That'd be pretty cool if they did that for the undercard guys too.
It really is a
Yeah.
crazy thing that like
That's
you get
confidence
more,
right there,
you
though.
get a lot of bonuses and you already make the most money because you get a lot of bonuses in the main event and the co-main event. It's crazy.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Get that bag.
Let's let Laura ask a couple questions.
Oh, okay.
She's the one that does work here. Max.
I did actually listen to a lot of your interviews. One thing stuck out to me, and obviously part of it was that feeling of like having a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, people asking you about the Poirier fight. But the other thing that I thought was really interesting was when you said you have this gladiator mentality. Gladiators don't walk around with a scale, right? When did you have that? Has that been there from day one in the UFC, or has that gladiator mentality been forged because of the fights that you've been in?
That's been here before the UFC. You know, I've been calling out DC so much he retired. He's right there
Yeah,
on his
bull
phone.
crap, dude.
You
The
know,
other day
I've
I
been
called you
calling
up.
out. Brother, you're retired, brother.
But
Don't be
I
calling
told
no
you
one
I
out.
would go to 145 to fight him.
This guy can't go to 145.
I want him so bad that I would go to 145 to fight him. That's how
No,
bad I
he
want
would
him.
Oh,
What's
man.
the lowest you could go? What's the highest you would go?
He can just stay at his weight. I'll come to him.
I
Yeah,
love that
no,
could be
you
a
can
BFF
have
right
super
there.
heavyweight. Let's go.
Muffin top
Do
max
that.
fight.
I
done.
want to do that on Oahu. I'm telling not Oahu Stadium, and I'm gonna be the one getting cheered going to beat Max Holloway's ass.
Perfect.
$500,000 bonuses on it.
Oh yes.
At
Oh
least,
yes.
at least. I don't know if you're taking Max down, man. You're gonna have
That's
to.
what
You're
I
gonna have to
told
be
him.
diving for takedowns.
That's what I told you. He ain't taking me down.
I think you're too slow.
In all seriousness here, you guys are both killers. I mean, you're both strikers. You're both killers. When you look at Gaethje and you study his fight game, he's talked about kind of an evolution. Have you seen a change in him, or do you see the same guy, same Gaethje from 3-4 years ago?
I mean, he might be a little bit more patient, but he's still violent, you know. And at the end of the day, every time I say it, every time I think of him, I smile because that's the type of fight we're gonna get, you know. And I'm excited to share the octagon with him. I'm sure he's a future Hall of Famer. And you know, if you want to be a legend, you want to be the greatest, you want to be a GOAT in this sport, these are the kind of guys you gotta fight.
Yeah. Max, what do you think is next for you after this win? Do you see yourself going down to 45 with the Pereira? Do you see yourself looking for Islam? Like, where do you see yourself headed?
First things first is the highlight, man. You know, I don't want to look past him and then I become a highlight. We're looking for a blessed highlight come tomorrow. and we go from there, you know. But if we get our hand raised, you know, we got options. And you guys know, being with the UFC for so long, when you got options, it's a fun place to be with the UFC.
100%.
Yeah, but you said options, right? But having the lightweight champion saying, "Oh, Max Holloway, this," that does mean something, right? That opens up a whole new avenue, and then without having to cut that extra 10 pounds,
I mean, the lightweight champion is there. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, he's known for only fighting 45ers. So. Wow, not on the next
I like it.
So at the end of the day, it's what it is.
These are the types of
that's your teammate. Don't laugh.
These are the types of statements that get you those types of fights. Honestly, because then we run it over and over and over again.
And you're his friend.
He's being real, man.
I can harass you. You might harass him.
100%.
Max, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you.
Best of luck. Can't wait to see you fight tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Max, bless
Max, you do
Holloway.
it for the family. You do it for the island.
Always.
Right.
We'll do it
From the island.
From the island.
This guy knows. This guy
100%,
our
man.
part of the town. He gets his wife.
Yeah, when you get a tattoo on the beach and it was cornets, that's when you level up street cred. Yeah, 100%. Man.
You're next level.
Yeah.
We do have another weigh-in coming up as Max takes off to get some fluids and liquids. Here's Cody Brundage stepping to the scale. Of course, he will be the man opposite Bo Nickal kicking off the main
the
card.
official weight for Cody Brundage.
Makes weight, and he's up plus 900.
Nobody thinks he's going to
Anthony
win, but it's going to be interesting. It's his teammate. It's his teammate, so he's got to do that. So I don't put too much emphasis on that. But he's the first dude that actually wrestled. He wrestled in college. He was a two-time qualifier at Newberry College, Division II.
We have Marina Rodriguez on the scale, ranked number 6 in this division, and interesting. I mean, this really could be
116, the official weight for Marina.
This really could be a #1 contender fight. You know, if she comes out of this looking really impressive against a former champion, that could put her right in a spot to fight the winner of the co-main event. Big deal. A tremendous striker. She could crack.
She can crack.
She could crack.
She can punch.
All right, here's a look at who is still the way in. The two men in our main event, Alex Pereira
I don't
and
love
Jamal
that.
Hill.
I don't love that. We got a lot of time, though, but I don't love that. Usually the championship fight, the main event, lately we've been spoiled. They're first. Now we're still, I mean, what are we, 30 minutes in?
We got plenty of time.
Oh, we're 22 minutes in. Yeah, we got to watch.
I mean, is Jamal Hill cutting the most weight out of those guys?
Are we doing the weigh-in thing here that we did in Florida? Is it the same, where it's a 1 hour weigh-in?
No,
I don't think
it's
so.
still full
It's
2 hours.
regular.
Okay, because I remember, and I don't know how much of stuff I should believe from Chael, but I'm around him so much now that I'm starting to believe him. But it's crazy.
Speaking of Chael, I wanted to ask you kind of what the story is behind the BMF title since we just had Max out here.
What you mean?
Oh, never mind. Let me ask Chael Sonnen, who actually does know what he's talking about, the bad guy of the Good Guy and the Bad Guy podcast for the history of the BMF title.
When Nate did his interview, he said this is for the baddest motherfucker in the game. What do you think about us having a baddest motherfucker in the game belt?
I bet you think the heavyweight champion is the baddest man on the planet. You do, don't you? You, sitting at home with your feet up on the couch, eating chips with crumbs all over your belly, think you know what a bad man really is. Please, let me spell it out for you. It's the guy carrying me on his shoulder. Says so right there on my face. BMF. Dana White turned to me because none of those other belts demonstrated the true purpose of the UFC. They mark weight like a scale. The whole damn company is built on the premise of finding out who the baddest guy truly is. And you don't need weight classes for that. All you need are 2 fighters, 4 fists, and 1 octagon. And that's exactly what you're gonna have when certified card-carrying badasses Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje go to war. That's when we'll see who earns the privilege of wearing the only belt that makes your heart melt, the strap that's always up for a scrap. And if you got a problem with me, then you know where I'll be, wrapped around the waist of the baddest motherfucker you've ever seen.
I'm still down.
RJ Clifford joining us now. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah.
Salute.
300,
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
300 here.
Hey, this is the first
Big
time
deal,
I'm
guys.
publicly drinking Bud Light, and I'm proud of this moment.
All right.
This is great. Here we
We're
go.
proud for you. All right, now that DC knows what the BMF title is actually all about, let's get our lists. let's get our BMF pound-for-pound rankings, our top 5 active UFC fighters, our top 5 BMFers.
Why do you
let's
look
start with you.
confused?
All right, I'm going to go starting with 5. Peter Yan. I just think this guy's an intimidating dude. He's badass, man. He always brings it. He doesn't play games. He's got that Russian thing going for him. Yuri Prochazka at 4.
Yeah.
He's the samurai. Dustin Poirier, and then Alex Pereira, and then Gaethje is number 1. Those are my BMF pound-for-pound rankings.
You didn't put Max Holloway on there?
It's me.
He's too nice. He's just like I'm going with. You have to be a little mean.
I don't know if you know this
I
or
know.
not, but
He's
like he's
No, I
literally
know. I'm a little
fighting
off.
Hey, Chris.
for it.
I don't just
Well,
follow
you
the
didn't
book.
put Nate
you know?
or
Hey, Chris,
Masvidal.
could I go?
There's a lot of
You
guys.
can go.
No, but
decent.
Masvidal is not a
I
current
can go.
fighter. It's
I
only
can go.
current. That's
Touche.
another thing people need to know. Like Nate Diaz,
Really quick before
Masvidal,
we
they're not
go.
on there for a reason.
Before we go,
Be back.
Chris, some people would call him Piotr. You call him Peter, but
He's
If
doing
you
the
know him really
tomato,
good, you say
tomato,
Peter.
yeah. Oh, really? Yeah,
No,
tomato,
seriously,
tomato,
yeah.
you're
Like I
right.
know him actually.
You
really
just
well.
whatever you want, you know. Chris,
Yeah.
you want to make a person's name?
It's like how you call
What do you call-
Khabib.
Yeah,
Right? You do the same
Similar.
thing.
His name is not Habib.
And what's
It's-
that guy's name?
Anyways,
What's the light heavyweight guy's name?
Let's
Rocky?
get back on track here. At number 5 for me, because I have to put him because he's the original BMF. I got to put Masvidal. You have to
He's
put him.
not
I
active.
don't care. You have to put him. He's the guy that created the title. It was made for him.
I had him on there too.
There is no
to
rule.
this list.
If there was
they
a
need
rule,
to be active.
If there was a rule and it stated that you couldn't use it, the producer would have said, Daniel, no, Masvidal's not active.
They did.
He allowed for it to go.
You're a cheater.
Look at my list. They did this. They printed it. At number 4, I got Poirier. Because, again, he fought for the BMF championship. At number 3,
You don't have Poirier at
I have Poirier at number 4. I might have spelled it wrong, but
backwards. Got it.
yeah, I go backwards. I don't know why you guys go 1 to 5. It's 5 to 1.
Building
All
the
the way up.
anticipation.
Well, you can
Anyway,
read it backward. You could just
Yes,
read it.
right.
Reading it
Building the
backwards.
anticipation. It's built up.
Alex Pereira at number 3 because he's just double champ. He's the baddest guy. He looks like that thing. Jamal Hill thought he was insulting him by bringing that stone head thing or whatever it's called.
Oh.
That was actually really cool and almost like, yeah, you're that scary. Number 2, Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje. They're fighting for the BMF title. That's a good list, right, RJ?
Mine's a little better. Let's put it up. Top 5. I will go 5 to 1, like you're supposed to do on television. Number 5. Oh, Derek and graphics. What are you doing? Tracy Cortez. I mean, she is pretty badass, but bad mother. Okay, all right. Tracy Cortez, number 5. Derek, for you.
Derek.
Hamzat Chimaev.
That's a good call.
Just scary and brutal. Jessica Andrade. She's destroyed chicks in 3 different weight classes. BMFing all the way. Alexander Volkanovski twice went up and fought Islam Makhachev one time on short notice.
He's too nice.
Justin Gaethje.
Really?
No brainer.
Really quick. I did follow the rule a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to put Hannah Cyphers, but she's not active. She is my BMF.
She might watch this.
She is my BMF. Unfortunately, I followed the rules on that one. So
Okay, all right.
I wanted to put
Yeah.
Hannah Cyphers. I love her.
Okay.
She's a bad girl.
All right.
All right. Can I go now?
Yes, you
Can I throw my list up there now?
What is this, the Power Slap League?
Here we go. All right, we're going to hold that because
UFC
Jamal
300
Hill's
fight
about
card
to
was
weigh
built.
in.
The former undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion, now the #1 contender, Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill.
Jamal looks like
Pereira
a different person.
He hasn't weighed in yet, by the way.
205, the official weight for Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill.
Look at that. You see a little 4-pack in there?
Yeah, Jamal looks like a different person. If
He
you saw
does.
him 2 months
I
ago,
was
he
about
was
to say
big
that,
and heavy.
bro.
Like
Fluffy.
He was
that
like,
dude
how
looks great.
heavy do you think he was?
I bet he was 240, 245.
I had him at like
250.
250,
You think 255?
Yo,
Yeah.
he was big.
He was
Yeah.
big.
When they decided that he was going to be fighting on this card, I go, holy crap.
He
how is
walked
gonna
up
make
to me
weight?
at the Apex one night and he goes, "It's going down." He like shook my hand. So like, let me just explain this to you. When black people see each other, we don't have to really know each other.
Let's all listen up.
Yeah. So you guys will
Lessons.
never experience this. It's a really cool thing that we do. We shake hands and we immediately go to a shoulder and a hug. It's like it's a shake, hug, double pat on the back, and then you break. My brother. That's what we say, my brother.
My brother.
My brother, you didn't see it, right? You don't have to know the guy. Well, Jamal did that to me. Came up, gave me the brother shake, shoulder, hug, it's going down. And I was like, what, the fight? Oh, yeah, UFC 300. I thought to myself, no way, he's too heavy.
Did your bellies like boom boom?
See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Was that part of it?
You see how disrespectful?
That is awesome.
You see how disrespectful? Right? You see how
Lord, that
disrespectful?
was money.
That was good.
That
Laura,
was
we've
money.
been
The
doing
sound
the show for
effect
2
was
years
money.
now. That was your
Let's
best joke.
replay that sound effect
That was your
because
best
that
joke.
was on
But we want to
point.
hear that. Boom, 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 boom.
No, she did it better. That was good.
part of
though.
the
Yeah. That was so.
Who, in terms of percentage, who carries more weight when they're not fighting Paddy Pimblett or Jamal Hill?
Oh, Paddy Pimblett. He fights
Jamal
at 155.
doesn't usually get.
He weighs 200 pounds.
Paddy Pimblett, like his whole body is inflamed, face to the ankles.
Yeah.
Jamal Hill's belly gets
Inflamed
inflamed.
is the right word,
I think
too.
Jamal.
It
I
just
think
seems
that's just
like
Jamal's
inflammation,
belly.
heavy
He didn't
inflammation.
look. His body looked the same. Just see his
Carries
belly.
it right there.
Yeah.
A little puffy. All right, you
He
guys
looked
ready?
great today on the scale.
Yeah,
He looked
did.
awesome.
Shredded.
He did.
You guys ready for my top 5 BMF pound
Yes.
for pound rankings? I'll start at number 5, Max Holloway. Justin Gaethje, number 4. Those guys fighting for the title tomorrow. Nobody said Tom Aspinall yet. This guy's an absolute assassin. Aspinall, on short notice, took out Sergey Pavlovich, who had knocked out 6 dudes in the first round in a row. And then give me Alex Pereira and then Islam Makhachev.
Listen.
How is he not
Yeah,
number
you're
1?
right, you're right.
I mean, what are we doing?
It's not
here?
just
You're
the pound for
just not
pound
just
rankings.
really
dude.
good.
I'm not doing the pound
It's
for pound
not-
rankings. I'm doing the scariest dudes, the biggest badasses
That's
in the
not,
promotion.
It's not even. It's not about
That
being
dude just-
scary. It's not about being the
No,
best.
it's- no,
about
tell
being a
him, Laura.
badass
Yeah,
motherfucker. Is what it's being
Are
about.
you telling me those 5 aren't the baddest motherfuckers in the UFC?
There are some in there. I'm not going to argue with your whole list, but some
need
of
to
them
be
is just
scary,
like, oh, he's
though.
really, you
I
have to be scary.
Yeah.
There's an element, there's a vibe outside of the octagon as well, which is why I have Sean Strickland on my list, because while he may not be as technically gifted and, or I guess, well-rounded as a Tom Aspinall, I put him as more of a BMF than Tom Aspinall, although Tom Aspinall
Well, Tom
isn't
Aspinall
like
is a BMF of all BMFs. That is so understood. You don't have to speak.
No,
He's
no,
the heavyweight
no,
champion
no,
of the world.
Listen, I know what he's doing here.
It's a vibe. It's
Let me ask you a question.
Do you
Laura.
have-
when he was champion at heavyweight, would you have put him as the BMF champ?
No, I
Hell
wouldn't,
no.
because it's a vibe.
Hell no, you're too nice and cuddly.
The heavyweight
When this
champion of the
belt,
world.
You know, like,
when this
no,
belt
you're a
started
teddy
out,
bear.
it was like basically we got a couple guys that are probably criminals, and they may not end up being champions one day, but they're really freaking good, and we want to see them fight, right? There was a very much a street element to the beginning of this belt. We're kind of
100%.
going away with it in this fight, but it is
I
how
agree.
they fight. It's
I
not just that they're good.
Let me ask you guys one question. Why would Gaethje accept this BMF title fight when he seemingly had a title shot already locked up?
Because he's got a chance to fight at UFC 300, and also it wasn't sure that he was going to be the guy fighting for the belt, right? That weight class is so jammed up with so many guys, you never know what's going to happen. As Arman Sarukian is stepping on the scale, another guy that, under the right circumstances, could have fought for the belt right now. After how impressive.
156, the official weight for the lightweight contender, Arman Sarukian.
156 for Sarukian. He could have fought for the belt under the right circumstances after the way he beat Beneil Dariush. So, yeah, you
don't
take
know
the
what's
fight
gonna
right now, and you really hammer home the point that you are the #1 contender. Because,
man?
hey,
Good to see you.
Justin Gaethje also probably took that fight because you didn't know about Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira was supposed to fight for the belt in October. So you fight the guy that they put in front of you.
Yeah,
Look who's in front of us now.
Right, Bo?
Oh, Nickal.
Yeah.
Bo can actually speak to that, right? You fight who they put out there.
No doubt, no doubt. You have to,
Well, let's get Bo's take. I don't need a top 5 list, but give me 2 of your 3 baddest motherfuckers in the UFC right now.
Well, I mean, obviously, like the 2 guys fighting for the belt, right?
Sure.
Exactly.
Gaethje and Holloway. No, those dudes, they fight everybody. And I think, I'm trying to think back on all their fights. I watch a lot of film, and I've never seen a boring fight from either of those dudes. I've never seen them, back away, try to win a decision. So to me, like, that's what that belt is all about.
Bo, can you do a BMF ranking without George Masvidal? No. Right?
Yes, you can.
If it's
because he's not an active
current
fighter.
fighters
I mean,
in the UFC.
yeah. I mean, if
then
you
have
obviously
those
you'd
two.
have to exclude him, but I think that if you're, just doing a general BMF ranking, you have to include him just because he's the OG, right?
But, as a guy who went to Penn State, a really good academic institution, unlike Oklahoma State, like you follow the rules, you study. When it says active, you go with active. But we'll move on.
All right.
You mentioned this a little bit in the press conference. You've been catching a little flack for your placement on this card. It's UFC 300.
Right.
You're opening things up. You're the first fight of the night. Why do you think that Dana and the guys decided that you were the right man for this job?
I think that there's a lot of reasons. First and foremost, I'm 5-0, 5 first-round finishes, and I'm going to put on an exciting fight. I'm not going out there to win a decision or sneak by. I'm going out there to put this dude away. So I think, my skills and what I can do in the octagon, and in addition to that, just my potential, right? I think everybody sees, me as a future champion and a future great, and so a lot of the placement is based on that potential, right? I'm only 5-0, but I think they see where I'm headed, they see where I'm going, and I also think that I'm bringing a different fan base to the UFC. I think most people that are mad are guys that are like diehard UFC. That's all they watch. When in reality, like probably 90% of my fans, they're not diehard UFC fans. Like, you know, they're wrestlers. They're wrestlers. They're wrestling fans. They're normal people, right? Like I got, you know, 40-year-old moms that watch me. Like that's just like the type of guy I am. People want to support me outside of just the super fans in the UFC. So I think I just bring a different element and different eyes to the sport.
Bo, it's been pretty impressive watching some of your interviews, and when you're talking about Cody Brundage, you give him a lot of credit as far as wrestling.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like you are as high level as it possibly comes when it comes to college wrestling. He was a 2-time Division II NCAA qualifier.
Right.
And so, but you enlist him as like a wrestler. What separates you from him in terms of wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about wrestling, like I'm pinning this dude in probably 30 seconds. Like it's not competitive.
Did you watch any of his matches from college?
No, I don't know.
And you're gonna pick him up after you pin him too.
I heard his high cross and double is ridiculous.
All right, if he's got a good double leg, then you know that's something that's good. That's good to note. But yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, in a wrestling setting, that's not competitive. But as you both know, MMA wrestling is a little different, right? We have the cage, you know, you have to be aware of submissions, things like that. And he's a guy that has a lot of fights, you know, triple the amount of fights that I have and a lot more experience, a lot more time training. So I think there's things that I have to be wary of, things that I have to be aware of. But I definitely, you know, see a big skill gap. It's nice to, you know, have a guy that maybe has a little bit of wrestling. He can hopefully put up a little resistance. But we'll see, you know, for me, that's just something that I'm more wary of and prep for in the training. And, you know, if the wrestling, you know, if I can make it more wrestling situations, I definitely think it'll be better for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's the smart way to approach it. Like, have respect for his wrestling, expect the worst. Okay, this guy's got unbelievable takedown defense. And I'm guessing you're very prepared to be on the feet just in case you could stop some takedowns.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think that for me, this last 9 months has been a lot of just development, improvement in all areas, but especially striking, especially just feeling comfortable defensively, being able to put myself into good position, not rush, be willing to, you know, set things up, things of that nature. And that's something that I've been focused a lot on. And I'm excited to, you know, go out there and let the people see that I've been developing a lot.
Yeah. I love it.
Biggest favorite in UFC history. That's a pretty cool record. And I think you beat maybe your previous record, if I remember right.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm like, it's almost like a mania thing, I feel like, with the odds, because they're just bigger and bigger every time and crazier. So I know some people are like, when are you going to be like minus 200 or something like that? I'm like, probably never. Like, I might be fighting for the UFC title in 2 years and be like a minus 800 favorite. Like, I don't know. That's odds stuff is
you
crazy.
You think you'll be that dominant, huh?
It's possible. I mean, I don't see, in my mind, you know, by the time I get there, I think that that's the reason that my career is progressing the way it's progressing, is because I'm not skipping steps. I'm developing. I'm improving. And, you know, if you look at my NCAA career, I was dominant as a freshman, right? But, you know, I was a national finalist, but I widened the gap. I continuously widened the gap. And that's what I'm planning to do here. I think, obviously, people see a gap between me and guys that already have triple, quadruple the amount of fights that I have. And now, as I continue to develop and improve, hopefully, I'm going to be widening the gap between myself and whoever the second best guy in the world is. Like, I don't want to go out there and have competitive fights with anybody. And I want to go out there and destroy everybody. So if I'm minus 800 in a title fight, then that wouldn't surprise me.
Bo, yesterday, you do press conferences, right? But there's a press conference and there's a press conference like yesterday.
Yeah.
What was the reaction and how did you feel when you got the reaction that you garnered? Like, how was it shocking? Like, what did you feel?
No, I wasn't really shocked. It was interesting to me. I think that, again, it just attests to my point of, at that press conference, you know, there's a few thousand people. It's big, there's a lot of energy, but those people that attend that are like diehard MMA people, which I think I'm going to win them over eventually.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to love me. They're going to like me when I knock this dude out or submit him or do whatever. But they got to get to know me first. They see this young kid who, you know, is a little cocky and, you know, he's done big things in wrestling, and now they want to say like, yo, but this is MMA, bro. Like, and I'm like, I get it. I'm a pro fighter. Like, you know, I know. I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get better.
Fan's voice.
Yeah, like I'm trying to get better. So, you know, they're mad about it, but I think that they'll figure it out.
Do you try to like turn them, or do you rather kind of play the bad guy? Because I'm telling you, the bad guy's fun.
I believe that. Yeah. No, I'm just not a bad guy. You know, like I think
that you aren't.
I think that the people that boo me, I just feel like, you know, I hope that they can find peace and maybe find God and just be happy about themselves and not feel the need to like criticize other people. And that's where, for me, like, it does just feel a little weird. And I would just never do that to somebody. I feel like I'm happy and secure in myself, and I would hope that, they could figure out a way to like figure that out for themselves as well and not feel the need to do that.
This is real. Like, this is how he's been all through college, even as a high school kid. This is Bo Nickal. Like, this is not like some sort of act.
One of my favorite things the last time you were on the show was when you asked these two former wrestlers for advice getting started in your UFC career. Now you're on to the next phase. Very soon you're going to be fighting ranked fighters and eventually title fights. As you move on to this next phase, and you are maybe a little bit of the bad guy for some of the hardcore MMA fans, what advice would you ask these two? Let's start with DC for this next step in your career.
Yeah, for sure. I guess, first off, I really appreciated y'all's advice last time. It helped me a ton, just being in a new situation where, I hadn't experienced what it'd like to be in a UFC fight, right? And, so that advice meant a lot to me. I appreciate y'all for that. And now, I guess having a little bit more experience, I would say, you two guys were guys that achieved big things. What do you think, I guess DC first, what took you from those beginning stages of, just figuring out the game to becoming champion now? Like, what was big for you? And all right, I know how to fight. Like, I can beat some guys up, but now how do I become champion? Like, what do you think helped you in that development?
Comfort in those moments. I think you're ready for it. I think everything that you've done to this point has prepared you for this. And when talking to you, that confidence that comes with competition experience, I see you developing it and knowing well enough to go away for a little bit, work on your craft, because I believe you do that because you recognize what's coming up. You know that this won't be like this for a while. It's not going to be Cody Brundage, no disrespect, or Val Woodbine. It's going to be bigger. You recognize that. Find comfort in knowing that you're about to get everything you asked for. And you didn't get it for nothing.
Right.
You earned it. And once you've earned it, live in it, man. You're going to do great, Bo. I really don't question how good you're going to do. I just think people are going to recognize it soon, and they can't be surprised because you told them.
Right.
I think no matter how big this gets for you, just to keep it real minuscule in your mind, almost like another wrestling match the whole time. No matter how big it gets and how badass the dude is that's going to be facing you in the octagon, go back to your Penn State, your high school, your kid wrestling days, and it's just another competition where you want to go out there and have some fun and just let loose. Because as it gets bigger and bigger, the moment gets bigger and bigger, the fans are amping it up, and it becomes such a big deal. The pressure starts coming in even crazier and crazier, and you're just always coming back to knowing that this is just another competition. You've been doing this your whole life, and it's just because you got MMA gloves on, it's a fight, there's kicks, there's elbows. It's the same crap, man. It's a competition.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
You're a man, Bo.
Thank you.
Bo Nickal.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure having you on.
Yep. Thanks,
All right, Bo.
Appreciate you.
Good luck, brother. I'm glad you didn't have to come at me with the picket comment.
You didn't do awesome.
That caught me off guard.
You gestured at me when you were like, I got 40-year-old moms that like me.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Oh, is that right? Yes. You're not 40 yet, Senko. Come on.
I'm over.
Although you are making some really interesting sounds up here on the desk. What was this?
Did your bellies like boom boom?
Let's go. That's exactly what it probably sounded like.
Jamal Hill's going to be so mad at you guys.
Yo, that's DC's reaction to the belly joke. I mean, he hears it all the time. I mean, I get it.
What?
He's over it?
I get that you're over the belly. It's like the eye poke.
No, I don't care.
Right? But Weidman still plays along. You get upset
think
about
I care?
it.
Bro, look at me.
He's going to look good soon.
I am literally the definition of what a man should be. Look at me.
Peak male.
Peak male performance. I don't
and
conform to
physique.
what people think I should look like.
Well, then
why should I look like you? I mean, how old are you? 60? You don't look like a 60-year-old white man?
What is happening?
What do I want to look like?
You look like an Easter bunny.
Easter.
Like a fat
look
Easter
at
bunny.
This guy's going to come out looking good soon. With
Look at this
Ozempic.
face.
He started Ozempic.
Look at this face. Hey, look at this face.
He's going to come out looking skinny soon.
Wow. Hi, guys.
You know who is looking skinny right now? Alex Pereira, who is set to weigh in, I believe, as we speak.
There he is.
Defending undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion, Poatan Alex Pereira. 205, the official weight for the champ, Alex Pereira. And with that, your UFC 300 main event is now official.
Locked and loaded is the main event, as John Anik just stated, which is great to see on the most anticipated fight card maybe ever. UFC 300.
Maybe.
Just
absolutely
stacked. All right, well, let's talk about most anticipated fights on this card, shall we? Because there's so many. I mean, there really are no wrong answers, right? I know you guys love to make fun of me for my list. There are no wrong answers on the most anticipated.
Well, we'll see what your list looks like. We'll talk to you in a second.
He tried to soften the blow before he does the segment. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Number one on my list. I'm not going 5-1. I'm going 1-5. Gaethje and Holloway. All right, it's for the BMF title. There's no question there. Number 2 is the main event. Pereira and Hill for the light heavyweight title. I'm really looking at Charles Oliveira and Arman Sarukian because it's with this is basically a title eliminator, right, for one of these two guys. And then, of course, the ladies, Zhang Weili and Yao Xiaonan. The first time it's been an all Chinese title fight in UFC history. That's pretty cool. Perhaps a little added pressure to both of those ladies. And then Diego Lopez and Sadiq Youssef. I think that's going to be one of the more exciting fights on the card. Certainly looking forward to that. This is a great fucking list right here, guys.
Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, that was
all
good.
Right, go ahead.
Thumbs up.
That's all
My
I need.
turn?
That's all I need, 40-year-old mom.
All right. I'm actually 41, so there's that. I'm gonna read it that way too. You gotta put Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway at the top for obvious reasons. That it really is the people's main event. I'm going Charles Oliveira, Arman Sarukian next because I think, technically speaking, it's a fascinating matchup between those two. I'm dying to see Kayla Harrison in the UFC.
Okay, so it's just dying to see Kayla Harrison because
but how
Holly,
is she
we know
gonna
we all
do?
love Holly, but Holly does tend to have slower fights.
But how is she going to do? How is Kayla going to do against a vet like Holly, a champ like Holly, a physical bantamweight? I mean, a lot of it is like Kayla Harrison measuring. But anyway, we've got Alex Pereira, Jamal Hill, obviously, and then guys. I love me some Alexander Rakic. I really do, and I'm excited to see how he does coming back from the injury.
Go ahead, White.
Yeah, good Instagram pics, huh? They were good? All right, I'm going to start with one. This is my most anticipated fight of the night, and so I start with my buddy Aljamain Sterling versus Cater. It's going to be interesting, man. His first time going up in weight. He always cut a lot of weight going down to bantamweight, so having that extra 10 pounds I think is going to be a big deal for him. Excited to see how that fight goes down. Gaethje versus Holloway, obviously for obvious reasons. Oliveira versus Sarukian. This to me is probably the most exciting fight in terms of MMA styles, like how that fight matches up. Is it going to the ground? Is it going to stay standing? It's going to be just interesting to watch. Hill versus Pereira. There's a knockout happening first or second round, and then Holly Holm versus Harrison. And for me, the big thing is like the list. What Holly Holm is known for is her knockout over Ronda Rousey, who was the #1, the best judo girl we've ever had, or best judo player we've ever had in all mixed martial arts. And now we have Kayla Harrison coming in with 2 gold medals in judo, very similar style as Ronda. It's going to be interesting. Does she still have what it takes to beat a girl on that level?
Most decorated Olympian ever in the UFC.
Yeah, that's definitely true. All right, for me, I'm going backwards, 5-1, like you're supposed to do in TV. I'm going Bobby Green and Jim Miller. Hey, Jim Miller's been around this thing for a really long time. Him and Bobby Green have been scheduled to fight so many times. It's finally happening. It's going to be fun. Jalen Turner and Renato Moicano. That is going to be a fun fight. After what Jalen Turner did to Bobby Green in the last one, and you know what Money Moicano's done, then I got Charles Arman, Jamal Alex, Gaethje Holloway. Great list. Helly, all the same top 3, you and I agree with you. For all the same reasons, I'm just going to take your top 3 and make them a top 3.
And this guy was in both of our top 3s in terms of most anticipated fights. Jamal Hill, back and headlining the greatest card in UFC history. I think that says everything about where you are in this sport right now. It has to be an honor. I'm so pumped for you. And I'm just wondering if the magnitude of this week has been any different for you, or if it is just like another fight. Can it possibly be?
It's all just been a great experience. I've just been taking it in. It's a once-in-a-lifetime card. It's huge just to see all the big names and the people that have accomplished so much in this lane be here. It just brings a different type of energy and a different type of feel to it, and I've just been making the most of it, for sure.
And for the two of you, it's striker versus striker. It's killer versus killer. What do you think will be the determining factor for you two in this one?
The determining factor is just me being myself. Me being myself and me getting off into my thing, you know. I think if I come at the best of my abilities, then I win. It's like there's no question, there's no doubt in my mind. Me at my absolute best beats Alex Pereira every day of the week.
Jamal, when you are done with the weight cut after, you know, being away for a long time, how good did it feel to get that part of it done? And I you know, as you still try to rehydrate, I know how horrible it feels. How good does it feel now to know that that part of it is behind you? Because that's such a big part of the fight before you get to the actual fight.
I mean, that is the fight. Up until you get to the fight, that is the fight. You know, it's been good. You know, I brought in the great chef Ian Larios.
Yeah, that's my boy too.
Yeah, he's been with me for the last 5 weeks. You know, we've been grinding it out. I just do what he tells me. Do what he tells me. I trust my team. I trust the advice that I give, and I put the right people around me to follow that advice, and I do that.
When you were Big Jamal, right? Because they got Big Jamal and they got Lil Jamal. Because right now, you were Big Maul. Were you a little worried when you were Big Maul and you got the call? You're like, man, it's gonna be rough. Because Laura said that whenever
don't throw me under the bus.
I was explaining to them about the bro hug, right? Like when two black people see each other, we shake, shoulders come together, and you told me, yo, it's going down. And she said that our bellies came together and it made a sound that went boom, 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 boom.
I didn't say how much of it was yours and how much of it was his. Because it was 80-20, and we all know it.
Well, maybe one day I'll get the Laura love, man. Maybe one day Laura loves me. Maybe one day Laura.
Byron Center.
I found out you're not from Byron Center,
My
all right?
family's from Byron Center.
You lied to me.
No one even knows where Byron Center is.
Look, she brought up Yesterdog. She got deep down in there, like personal with it.
She won you over.
Then where's she from?
I spent
Kansas City.
every summer in Byron Center.
Kansas City.
When you were Big Maul, though, were you worried, Big Maul?
Nah, I wasn't worried because I know the work that I put in. And it's like that every time. It's like it's just grind out and get the job done. So just the work I put in, bro. I put in way too much work. Sorry I had to leave you behind on the belly gang this time, DC.
I know you look
had to get a little abs. Had to bust out a little abs for y'all, man.
Are you coming back? Are you going to come back to my side of the track?
Oh, you know I'm coming back. Stop it. I done already started working to make it back. Y'all enjoy them while they're here. Enjoy them while they're here.
Take pictures.
We will return them presently.
That was good. It was a little 4-pack right there at the top, dude. We mentioned it. We mentioned it when you were on the scale. We talked about it a little bit. DC was so
I saw
jealous.
a 6-pack. He said 4-pack.
Yeah, I've been throwing up some old videos on Instagram recently, so people are like, "Oh my God, he's out of shape. He's not taking it serious."
Yeah, the way you were being so fun, even though you felt so like disrespected and everything in regards to the fight, I love it. The walkouts, the different introductions. You seem to be very patient and calm in this moment, man. It's a massive moment too.
I mean, them hating just mean that they care. It's gonna It's gonna be a time where these lights dim, these crowds quiet, and them haters fade away. You know, you gotta enjoy it. I text Coach Nickal earlier this week after I got done signing posters, and I told him and I thanked him he gave a speech. He said something in the interview not that long ago, and it was enjoy signing those posters, because one day you won't be signing them anymore. 100%, one day nobody's gonna want nobody's gonna want your signature. They're gonna want your autograph. So while you're in that moment, enjoy it, because this is the peak. It's UFC,
the peak.
UFC 300, fighting for a title. Got a legendary opponent. Like, what's there not to take in?
Yeah.
It was so cool to see your dad, James, on Embedded, and just how proud he is of you, and obviously been a big part of your journey. But I feel like that's kind of who you are. You got this super tight circle. You're still at the same gym where you started, Coach Chad Pomeroy. You know, you didn't go.
Pomeroy, Johnny Gregoire,
Exactly.
Justin Andrews.
What has that tight-knit circle, including your dad, meant to getting you to this massive moment?
They meant everything. My team, my family has been everything. Without them, I'm just somebody just going through life, not doing much, not doing much at all. It's a lot easier. It was a lot easier just not to do anything and make excuses and things like that. So they motivated me. They pushed me. They nurtured me. They catered to me. They made me feel as though I was letting them down if I didn't put that work in. Every round, every time I don't put an extra rep in, I feel it's a disrespect to them. Every time I don't push just a little bit harder, I feel it's a disrespect to them. So that's how I go. That's all I know.
I've had a lot of injuries and setbacks, and there's always like a blessing in disguise when you go through that process of coming back and, having that time off to kind of reflect, to kind of see who's with you, who's not with you. You kind of see the real ones and not the real ones, especially as a champ, and then you relinquished it. What blessings in disguises did you have with this time off?
Time to grow myself as a man, as a man, and ultimately I feel if you grow as a man, you grow in in all aspects as well. But it's just reflecting, I took advantage of the PI and a lot of things, just more so about just taking advantage of the little things. Like I couldn't walk, I couldn't move. So what could I do? I got it with Alex over at the PI. I'm like, hey, yo, let's put together a schedule. He's like, all right, we can do about a couple of this. I'm like, no, every day. I was in the PI doing strength and conditioning every single day. Two a day on PT, the workouts and PT, and then strength and conditioning every day. I knew what I was coming. I knew how I was coming when I came back. This comeback didn't start when I got the call for UFC 300. This comeback has been since the day I left.
Yeah, that's what the great ones do.
When I fought Anderson Silva, when I was coming to that fight, everyone's seen all of his knockouts. Obviously, I've seen them, and they're always talking about this, like, my God, this guy's unbeatable. Look at the knockout power that he has and all that. But I always saw, like, some of the weaknesses. I always focus on the weaknesses. I'm like, I see what he does, but, like, I know I could beat him. I see something different than what everybody else sees. You mentioned you tweeted, and I fought the dude, Bruno Silva, and you watched that fight. People don't remember that fight, and that was just 2 years ago. When he fought him right before he fought Strickland.
Close fight, wasn't it?
It was a very close fight. And is it fights like that you go and watch, and you're like, is this guy as good as everybody's making him out to be?
No. Because I don't look at it like that. I don't care how they interpret him. I interpret him for what he is.
Yeah.
Right. I don't pay attention to hype. Hype is not part of the equation when I'm breaking down the fight and looking at.
Because there's a lot of hype on him,
I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I look at the X's and O's. I look at him for what he is and who he is. I've spent enough time in the gym and had enough feelings in the gym and remember them enough to know what it felt like and what it takes to add to your game, to realize something in your game is lacking and to try to fix it, and the frustration with that and all those things. So I take it straight for X's and O's, what it is.
What do you see from him, X's and O's?
What do I see? I see openings. I see openings. I see me getting my belt back.
My man.
That's
Drop
how
that
we
mic.
end an interview.
That's
right
how you end an
there.
interview right there.
Yeah.
Stop.
Hey, Jamal, welcome back, man. It's fun to have you back on the show. Jamal Hill
like
fighting
a boy
for
when you
the
get-
title in the main event of UFC 300. And as you're walking up to set, you can walk off holding the mic. DC was talking a lot of shit about his basketball game and saying how great he was.
No,
and was
stop.
crossing people up
All I
out there.
said was that.
He said he broke
No,
your ankle.
stop. Watch the interview. Jamal and I's interview's dropping today. Just watch the interview. We discussed that in depth. I crossed his ass and
Never
tore his
happened,
Achilles.
Bro, he's never crossed him. He's never even crossed over. except to a bigger weight class.
There we go. I love it. Let's go.
I love you,
My
OG.
boy, Jamal Hill, going to be opening it up for
Appreciate
Joe
y'all.
Rogan.
Always
Hey, Jamal, just because I'm white doesn't mean that's a handshake every time.
No, Jamal, don't do it. Don't do it, Jamal.
Yeah.
Jamal, don't do it. Don't do that.
Hey, we about crossing barriers here, man.
I told
We
him
about
they
crossing
take
barriers.
everything from us. That belongs to us, Jamal. Me and you, we shake, we shoulder hug. God dang it.
I thought not getting sunburned belonged to us.
Oh, no, I got it the other day.
I'm done with you.
Thank you, Jamal.
I love it.
Thank you, Jamal.
Thank you, Jamal.
Later, bro.
I'm taking this water.
All right, and from what I understand,
Man, boy.
uh,
Have fun out there.
we have another great getting ready.
Oh,
to
yes,
join us
we
right
do.
now. Kayla Harrison.
Sorry.
No, take your time.
Take your time. We are
You can
on
bring your water
time.
if you want.
Can I? I don't
Yeah.
know. It's not.
No, here,
No.
Kayla.
Sponsor.
Kayla, I like to give you water. Here you go.
There you go. What a
Thank
guy.
you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You know what a gentleman would do, DC?
Open it.
He would open it for her.
Let me tell you something. Have you
just
seen
wait.
Kayla Harrison? She's strong. She can open a water bottle. She can open a water bottle.
Hey, congrats.
Hey,
Good fight.
thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Kayla, welcome.
Thanks, gang.
I mean, we've been waiting
She's
for
the
this
first person that
forever.
congratulated me on my fight up here, by the way.
Is that right?
Everybody else wore the goggles.
This dude right here. Kayla, you might want to wear these.
Get out of here.
Why?
Oh, well, there
Oh,
was
the high
Thank you. She saw it for the technical aspect of the fight. She saw a dominating win. Yeah.
I'm on your team.
Can I
all the way.
Can I tell you a funny story? We're in the car on the way over here, and Weidman's like, I love fighting in AC. It's basically home for him. He goes, they just welcome me. They're so warm. And then after the fight, I check Twitter, and everybody hates me. It's like I didn't even win.
Yeah. Don't check Twitter.
Well, MMA fans are pretty fickle. I'm sure you know that by now.
Yes.
They're fickle.
Well, what has this week been like for you? I mean, your first fight in the UFC, you're one of the biggest names to enter the UFC in years, and you're finally here. Huge fight, huge card. I don't think. Have you ever experienced anything like this week professionally?
Well, I mean,
the Olympics.
I did go to the Olympics.
Olympics.
twice,
Yeah.
so.
I mean, I swear to God,
No.
Kayla, I was hoping you didn't let him off the.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Key word: professionally.
Right.
Right.
Thank you. Obviously, no. This is its own animal. This is its own beast when it comes to fighting. I do feel blessed that I had my Olympic experience because, again, that's 10,000 athletes every 4 years, the whole world. I was telling someone the other day, like, we did a lot of media this week, but even for the Olympics, they pick 1 or 2 athletes for Team USA from each sport, like the top ones. And they go to the Athlete Summit, and they have everything from like Glamour magazine to like the Hoboken Journal there, and you just go like boom, 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 boom. Like one day you're doing a photo shoot with a Royal Palace Guard, and the next day you're in a Celtics jersey doing a photo shoot. Like it's just so much. So I'm grateful that I had that experience and like I guess media training, so to speak, because it's prepared me, I think, further down my career to handle the stress of what I feel is to come when I am the UFC's bantamweight champion.
You said that this is a risk coming into the UFC.
Yeah.
Obviously, big weight cut that you haven't had to make before, but a risk worth taking. Why?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I've never really played it easy or played it safe. I feel like I've had a lot of success in my MMA career. I've been very blessed financially. I am happy with everything that I've done in my life. I'm a world champion, a 2-time Olympic champion. I've won every tournament there is to win in judo. I've got plenty of money in the bank. But when I started MMA, the goal was to be UFC champion. And I had a year to think about if that was still my goal. And it is. I want to be UFC champion, and I want to give it my all, and whatever happens, I'm okay with it, but I know I'm going to be UFC champion.
There was, I don't remember exactly when this happened, but do you remember when you and I got stuck in an airport just completely randomly together in a nail salon?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
After,
we talked.
Where was that? Yeah, I do
And
remember.
we talked for like 2 hours straight.
That's
it was
right.
the greatest conversation. And I just remember at that point, this felt far away. And it felt like it might...
It felt far away for a long time.
It felt like it might never happen, regardless of what you had done to make yourself undeniable. It just felt like maybe the cards were not there. What is it like now to be sitting here and having this in front of you?
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, I definitely went through a lot of frustration. I mean, it's all coming together at the perfect time. So I'm not looking in the past, but there were moments where I was like, I'm probably gonna have to come to peace with the fact that I might not fight in the UFC. It might not be in the cards for me. I was not expecting me to go down to 135. So that was a big hurdle and a big kind of like surrender that I had to accept. Like, if you want this, if this is really your dream, like, you're gonna have to be all in. You're gonna have to make sacrifices. Your whole family, your team, everyone is gonna have to make sacrifices to get you here. And I mean, I don't know. I live my life on fire. This is what I want. This has built me and like shaped me and molded me like into an even more evolved, higher operating version of myself, if that makes sense. The sacrifice, the stress, the like, dude, just, like when you're cutting weight, you're sitting, heat acclimation, you're sitting in a sauna 3 times a week by yourself with your thoughts, you're doing extra cardio, you're taking long walks, you're on the bike for 90 minutes, you're hungry. It's like a different kind of hungry, and you're sitting with your thoughts, and it makes you more violent. And I'm ready.
Did you do test weight cuts?
I did like a partial.
Got it. So you got down to enough where you were like, I think I can make this happen. And how would you say the weight cut went? Was it worse than you thought? Better than you thought?
It was better than I thought, to be honest. Like I was expecting it to be absolutely miserable for, I don't know, weeks and weeks and weeks. But it's crazy when you actually like listen to nutritionists and you fuel your body and you eat really clean. Like mentally, I started feeling better. I was properly fueled. My training camp, this has been the best I've felt like in a camp. I don't know if it's because I just have so much energy, like the attitude of gratitude has kind of taken over my body or what, but I mean, everyone's played a huge role in it, and really the hardest part was the last pound, you know, like just that last.
Doesn't want to come off.
Yeah, and it's like you don't get a good night's sleep, and you're just kind of like uncomfortable in your body.
Yeah.
Like,
You did it this morning, or you did it?
Yeah, I did it this morning.
It's just icky. Like, you can't get that last pound off.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing, though, Kayla, like in the middle of it, when you like get to that nice sweet spot, like 145, you pass in front of the mirror, you're like, oh my God.
No, dude.
Isn't it the best?
Dude. Dude, I took so many pictures in the last 8 weeks. I'm like,
dude, like you walk past the mirror, you're like, holy cow, look at me, go boy.
I'm like telling my daughter, I'm like pressure washing. I'm like, Kyla, take a picture. You know, she's like,
well, the car reflection's always the best. You always look better,
you
best
walk
in the
front of
car
mirror, you're like,
reflection.
I never did this before in my life.
Never in my life have I been like, I stop at every mirror and I'm like, oh, that's what you have to do to get cheekbones like that. I'm like, you know what? It ain't worth it. I'm not gonna have cheekbones like this
Kayla,
after.
Hell no.
What do you? And before we let you go, I have to ask this because
Are you guys drinking beer?
We are.
Yeah,
We
are. Yeah, we have a good time here.
Sorry.
So
I respect that.
there are a lot of
very loose show.
parallels between you and Ronda Rousey, obviously, right?
Yes.
And so
You really gonna do this?
So no, I'm saying like people are asking and they're building in between Holly and the moment she had with Ronda and being the underdog and all this.
Yeah.
What do you say to the people with those parallels? Like, I'm a different fighter.
I mean, she's blonde and I'm blonde and we did judo.
Right?
Like,
Yeah,
that's pretty
and
much
so
where
everybody
it
like
is.
that's what it is.
Do you think I don't even have the same
it isn't, actually.
personality? I don't have the same fighting stance. I don't have the same team. I don't have this, like, we're just such different human beings, never mind fighters.
Yeah.
So I just think that, yeah, we both came from a judo background and we have blonde hair.
You can't take anything from that fight and apply it to yours.
I mean, I took a lot from that fight and applied it to my career, but not, you know, like, don't have yes men surround you and be smart and, like, learn how to shoot a double. And I mean, I took a lot away from that fight, but not, like, about Holly, really. Mostly just about when I come into MMA, you know, be smart.
All right, Kayla Harrison.
Thank you
Welcome.
guys so much.
I'm so glad you're here. We've been waiting forever
Good
and
luck.
cannot
Thank
wait
you.
for Saturday night. And it's going to be
appearance here
a
on
fun
Saturday
fight. We
night
missed
in the
Jim
lightweight
Miller
division.
weighing in during our interviews. This was a few minutes ago. And the man with the most wins in
mean,
UFC
Jim
history.
Miller.
26.
Jim Miller's been at UFC 100, 200, 300, and now he's fighting as well as he has in a really long
155 and a
time.
half, the official weight for Jim fucking Miller.
Great weigh-in and great new nickname. Like, when did that start? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I know.
That nickname, Joe Silva gave me that nickname in 2016.
Really?
Yeah.
why does it feel like it's so like now, like everybody's like saying it?
It's there have been a few folks in the media that it stuck with them. You know, like because he emailed me at like midnight about the fight with Dustin, and he's like, "You want to fight Dustin Poirier? You know, at 208?" And I was like in the shower, get out of the shower, see the email. I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, I'm in." And he's like, "Of course you are, because you're Jim Evan Miller, you know." I was like, you know, there's like 5 minutes in between, and I guess that doesn't happen that often. That fighters respond that quickly, you know, at midnight and stuff like that. So, like, I screenshotted it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll share this." And some of the media, like, they were calling me that for a little bit, but yeah, it's just kind of gained traction, and you know, I'm hoping there's somebody at ESPN that's like, okay, ready on that button so that Bruce can say it. Like, who needs to tell him that he can say
Right?
it?
Yeah.
Because
Well, it is a pay-per-view, so, like,
GoFundMe,
you can say
it's
it.
fine.
I'm not on the pay-per-view though. I'm on the underdog.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
So-
so big
Yeah,
ESPN.
So you're going to be waiting for it,
This is
though.
America though. It's America.
Yeah.
Freedom of
They're not,
speech.
they're not,
100%.
I know
Let
they're
it
not
happen.
allowing. They're telling me they're not allowing. But what if he just pauses and the crowd yells?
I'm in for that.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
in
do
for
that.
Yeah. You know,
crowd. You heard that?
Fans in attendance.
Buffer's saying
Yeah.
A10
Yeah.
apparently. So we'll.
Yeah, but they can yell the other
We can
way
adjust
louder.
that. Yeah.
Just
So you've been around forever. I mean, literally forever. I heard you recently broke out the UFC one. That's a compliment. Like, that's amazing. As Jim, I talk about this with DC all the time. As I get older, which he loves to remind me, I'm very old now, but I appreciate longevity in every sport, especially this sport, where it's just gladiator after gladiator that you're going up against. But I heard you broke out the UFC 100 jacket recently. How'd that go?
Yeah, that thing had been in the closet, tucked away in the back for 15 years. And I was like, maybe when I do some press at UFC 300, it'll be the time to bust it out. And I felt a little cheesy.
That is such a cool thing.
I was like packing it in. I was like, man, this is going to be, maybe it goes over, maybe it doesn't,
It should have went over.
And yeah, it did. It did. People appreciated it. So yeah, it was, they gave me an XL for some reason, so I was just swimming in it. I was like,
Nobody has that jacket. Nobody.
well,
has
there
that.
are a handful. Yeah, not here.
Is my point. And to that point, being the only one on the card with this really tremendous, broad perspective, what sticks out to you the most from your experience at 100 and 200?
I mean, the growth of the sport is obvious. It's always, those cards were always huge. They're massive, and the amount of fans and the amount of media you do leading up to it was always big. It was always special. I don't. For me, on the inside, competing, it's just another fight week to me. Like when I first brought up fighting on this card, I was in a different place. In my career, I was just coming out of my battle with Lyme disease, trying to figure out how to compete and train as somebody, over 35, and as a lightweight, that's old as hell.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's not easy. It's it's like basically the kiss of death of your career, right? You turn 35 at lightweight, and it's like, oh, well, he's ready to go. So yeah, like I kind of just figured out how to perform. Being older, and that we have a lot of weapons as athletes, and your athleticism and technique, but experience is a massive weapon, and it's something that I've learned how to use and to beat my opponents.
$300,000 bonus.
Yeah.
You pretty happy with this matchup, especially with that on the line?
Yeah. No, I like this fight. Bobby's always game. He's always going to keep coming. He's always pushing, and I thrive in those fights. So I see this as a fight that could get that fight of the night. Obviously, I'm always looking for the performance. I'm always looking to dominate my opponents and finish them, and trying to keep that streak going too. Yeah, it's a great fight, and yeah, I try not to focus so much on the bonuses. It's like it's kind of found money if you get it.
Sure.
It's great, but yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Jim, you're like a true fighter's fighter. You've always been just super humble. You're not one of those dudes who trash talks. So you've had all these fights, and you didn't really get the attention that you deserved until recently. So what is that now like, where now you're finally getting all the love that you probably deserved for so many years? Has it changed anything for you?
Not really. I've always just been true to myself and who I am and my upbringing. And, for me as a fighter, that no matter what anybody says to me, it's in one ear, it's out the other. It's never mattered to me. It's never bothered me. So I've never seen a point in doing that type of stuff. I understand that it sells the fight to a certain segment of fans that kind of need to see it and need to have that extra drama. But I just could never get over it. I mean, I always wanted to do one of those fancy, dancing on the way out to the octagon. I just, because I'm a goofball.
You dance a little bit, you get embarrassed.
Oh, yeah, right?
Well, he got MVP dancing. He got rhythm.
Give me a couple beers, and I'll dance my way out of there, right? But, at weddings, I make an ass out of myself. But
I love it.
Yeah, I just can't. I know what I go through. I see what my peers, my teammates go through, having a brother who overcame massive things to fight the best guys in the world at 185, dealing with some of the stuff that he had to deal with. I see what fighters put into this, and it's like it's hard for me to do things that I would come across as disrespectful to the guy that I'm fighting. You know, like I just can't do it. It's cool to get the appreciation, for having to, stuck around this long and doing this type of stuff. And yeah, it's, I'm enjoying it.
So when you talk about the person you're fighting, though, Bobby Green is, he will be vocal. He's loud, right? Yeah. But he also possesses a ton of skill. You seem to hold the advantage on the ground, but his last fight, he won by submission. How do you approach this matchup? Because this is one of the only guys that, in terms of experience, has enough to kind of go with you.
He has, I mean, subbing out Tony Ferguson that's no small task, right?
He's right in your face talking right away.
Yeah, right. But he's known more as a striker. He's got a very unique boxing style. I'm known more as a grappler, but have a few knockouts as of late. But it's still kind of that traditional grappler versus striker matchup, but we're both well-rounded. It's a fun fight. It's a fun puzzle. He can, if he wants to talk inside the octagon, I'm fine with that. I don't hear anything. All I hear is elevator music. It's just like,
So you're not talking back to him.
I'll do my talking with my strikes and stuff like that, right? I've had other opponents talk, right? Okay, whatever. It doesn't bother me. I don't even hear my corner. I could be like right in my corner and I don't hear my corner. So, whatever. I'm looking forward to the matchup and looking forward to making our mark on this card.
All right, before we let you go, I understand that you have shown some interest in television, and I've been given permission to offer you a spot on the weigh-in show at UFC 302 in Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
The fights are on June 1st. It's going to be these two guys. Laura and I aren't going to be there, lucky for you, so Megan O'Leary will be captaining the ship. Are you interested in being on that show?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Absolutely. Let's go, baby.
Something just happened.
What?
Jim Miller's really cool. I think Jim Miller should go in the Hall of Fame. He just won me over. I saw it happening. I was like, oh my God, he's doing it to me.
I saw your face changing.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, he's doing it to me.
Listen, man. I was like, all right, I'm gonna win DC over at some point. And Newark. I'm an hour away. I love Creole food. I'll make. I'll cater. I will cater the show.
You better shoulder bump him right now. You hit him with the shoulder bump. That's your brother.
Not shoulder bump.
I love it. Jim fucking Miller, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Congrats.
Hey, man, congrats.
Thank you.
100, 200, and 300.
Good luck, brother.
Looking forward to that card, taking on Bobby Green. And he's going to be on the weigh-in show at UFC 302 in Newark with these two guys. That's going to be fun to watch. All right, let's take a deeper look at the man who has fought more times than anyone in UFC history and won more times than anyone in UFC history.
What does it mean for you to be on UFC 300?
It's kind of surreal. I made my debut at UFC 89.
Got it deep, Mike. That's deep. That's it. It is all over. Jim Miller successful in his UFC debut.
I fought Mac Danzig at UFC 100, covered the canvas with his blood.
Look at this octagon. I mean, it's like someone threw a bucket of red paint everywhere.
Kind of feels like yesterday, that I was fighting Takanori Gomi at UFC 200.
Great position for Jim Miller, looking to end this fight right here, right now.
To get the opportunity to fight on 200, I wanted to fight in front of these fans.
And now we're here. It's also kind of sad because it's like, man, the time has gone so fast.
Jim Miller has fought some of the best of the best in the 155-pound division.
Coming up to UFC 300, I just threw it out there a couple years ago. Kind of as one of those like lofty goals, not really knowing where things were going to take me.
43 fights in the UFC,
phenomenal boxing, great striking.
Unbelievable black belt in jiu-jitsu.
He really is the complete package, and he's still got it.
You know, it's been pretty cool to be a part of.
Well, I think he may have done it. I think he may have won DC over.
He did it. He did it, guys.
I like to take 7% credit. I was pushing pretty hard too, but 93%.
Or are you faking it?
Yeah.
He might be faking it.
No, I think he won him over.
Yeah.
He won him over.
All right, good. All right, we've talked about the most anticipated fights on this card on UFC 300, but let's go back. Let's do a top 5 list from 100, 200, and 300. Kind of a wider swath there to choose
Hey guys,
from.
we're I don't know if you know.
No,
this,
we're listening. We're listening.
I'm listening.
We're doing a show.
Hi.
RJ's up first. RJ Clifford, he always has.
What a steep decline in this chair. Max Holloway, Kayla Harrison, Jamal Hill, Jim Miller. Now,
I know,
dude. Right?
But you know what? RJ has such great posture. Look at him. He makes me sit up straighter when he comes in.
After years of back problems, I've forced myself to be in this.
You know who doesn't have good posture? Look at DC, just all slumped over. Look at you.
Don't change it now. It's too late.
Unbelievable.
It's too late. Don't bug.
Like a freaking panda bear over there.
Oh my God. He's only one neck of beer in. Wait till he gets 2 more in.
I don't think
right? 5 up properly. Alex Pereira, Jamal Hill coming up, main event. It checks every box, right? Champion coming back, double champ defending. He never lost his belt. Love it. Number 4, Brock Lesnar, Frank Mir, the original OG main event. The grudge match, it was great. Amanda Nunes, Miesha Tate. UFC 200. That's when Amanda Nunes really became Amanda Nunes and was well on her way to becoming the best female fighter of all time. Number 2, Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway. I mean, they literally destroyed 2 divisions to make this fight happen. Like, Gaethje should be fighting for the title next. Holloway could be fighting for the title next. But like, screw it. We're going to make this fight anyway. And then Dan Henderson, Michael Bisping. The grudge match, the knockout. Dan Henderson's finishing completely necessary punch at the end was his logo to this day. And it's fine because Bisping came back and became champion.
That was an excellent list.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I basically have the same one, just slightly rearranged. At number 5, I have Charles Oliveira taking on Arman Tsarukyan because, again, I just think the stylistic matchup is really, really fascinating. Again, we are being predictive, of course, with the 300 fights that we include. Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway. Have to have that on here. I had Dan Henderson versus Michael Bisping at number 3. I had Amanda Nunes and Miesha Tate at number 2. That was the birth of the greatness of Amanda Nunes, in my opinion. And then number 1, Brock Lesnar versus Frank Mir at 100. The rematch. I mean, the Brock era was its own thing. It was short, but it was special.
That's really good. That's a great. I mean, we all got the same people. At number 5 for me, I have Hendo Bisping. Right, all the back talk and everything else. Love that one. Hendo Bisping. At number 4. I remember when Cain Velasquez was coming back to fight Travis Brown, and he had been away after losing the belt to Fabricio Verdum. Yep. Everybody questioned, Travis Brown looked so good in the fights leading up to it. Big fight, massive moment. Then Amanda versus Miesha, Brock versus Frank Mir, because I was just a fan at the time. I wasn't even in the sport, and I was so excited because Brock was so big. And then Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway. I don't know if there's ever been a more anticipated fight in the UFC. I mean, outside of Conor versus Khabib.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having.
I don't know. I don't know if there's ever been a more anticipated fight between Justin and Max than Khabib and Conor. They're idiots. They're all idiots.
Why you're up. All right, here we go. We're starting with 5. This is a good one. I can't believe people didn't have it on the list. Anderson Silva versus Daniel Cormier.
No.
Right?
That fight
was
sucked.
2 days.
It doesn't matter. It was
no
2 days.
build-up.
Are you kidding me? UFC 200.
Oh, it actually was really cool.
Did you see Cormier's face when he got hit with that belly shot in the 3rd round?
That's what
and him trying to pretend like he's not hurt?
Anderson rolled over for that. Anderson rolled over for
they
DC.
Noticed
Getting taken down.
Cormier's pretending like he's not hurt.
It hurt bad.
That was my favorite. That should be one. Oliveira versus Tsarukyan. Man, just style-wise, I just love to see this fight. Gaethje versus Holloway. Brock versus Mir, again, I was just a fan at that point. To see big-ass Brock against Frank Mir was freaking awesome to watch. And then at 1, Dan Henderson versus Bisping. I mean, that's a highlight we'll never forget.
Do you remember Brock started talking about like he was going to shove the horseshoe? It was crazy. That Brock Lesnar time was nuts.
What?
Remember when Brock beat Frank and like he wasn't even a good winner.
No,
he started yelling at him when
wasn't.
Frank's done on the ground. It was like, what? This is the
It was so different
This
than
is the
anything you've ever
UFC.
seen.
Never seen anything like it. It was awesome.
He had lats that were like Christmas hams.
It was awesome,
It was just
dude.
like,
That was amazing.
yeah.
Burning question time, guys, and this is such an epic card that we're going to ask a question about every fight, kind of in rapid fire form. All right, we're going
Okay.
to start with the early prelims here. Davison Figueiredo, Cody Garbrandt, the best early prelim opener in UFC history.
Obviously, yes. That's easy. I mean, two former champions, the curtain jerker, never been done before.
Absolutely, of course. There's no comparable first night of the fight.
No question. Generally, you're trying to pronounce the guy's name that fights in the first night.
Yeah.
DC, whenever DC's doing this with his papers when I go fights, he's like,
well, you start seeing me
coming
walking
out
around like this
to the octagon
Yeah.
right now, and he's a
so
tremendous
you gotta
fighter.
get the phonetics. You got Garbrandt. Yeah.
All right, we had Jim Miller in here. Let's talk about his opponent, Bobby Green. What lasting effects of Green's loss to Arman Sarukian? What will they be? Can he bounce back?
Of course he can bounce back, yeah. I mean, listen, I think that King Green is a tremendous fighter. I think he has a lot of attributes that are going to serve him in this fight, including his speed.
Yeah, it's a tough one to bounce back from, but I think he could do it. You could see him in all of his interviews and everything getting ready for this fight. Super confident. It didn't seem like it kind of ruined his belief in himself. So I see him bouncing back because I always think ultimately that's the biggest thing.
I believe he's very going to be confident. I don't think his confidence will be affected. What I do believe, though, is you don't come back from that fast. It just doesn't happen. I got knocked out one time. I got called to fight a few months later. I said, no, give me 9 months. It takes time, bro.
How long is it for this one?
I mean, what, 5 months?
Yeah.
6 months? If that, he fought in Austin.
And by the way, the last fight was Jalen Turner. I said
That's why I got confused. I was like, I thought it was
Jalen Turner
No, it's okay.
It was a bad
and not just knock him out. He was hitting him like it was
That
a
was
bad
the
stoppage.
It was a bad stoppage.
Really
It was
bad
a bad
stoppage.
knockout. I can't imagine that you just bounce back from that. It should take more time.
Jessica Andrade, Marina Rodriguez, who needs this one more?
Who needs it more? I would say at this point, although Jessica Andrade did have a rough spell there, she did bounce back. I mean, she's gotten things back on the right track. She will always be a champion. She will always be a legend. So I'm actually going to say Marina Rodriguez needs this more. It's going to put her in line to potentially fight for the title next. Those are big implications.
They both won their last fight, but before that, they were kind of on a losing streak.
Yeah.
So they both want to stay on a winning streak here and not go back to losing. So it means a lot to both of them. But because of Andrade's name and what she's given to the sport already, I think it's a bigger loss for Marina Rodriguez. I think Andrade could still fight some big fights, and if Marina loses, it hurts her a little bit more.
I agree.
I see Andrade. I disagree with you guys for this reason only. With Jessica Andrade, it allows us to ask what's next, right? Because right now it's hard to really know what she is fighting for in particular. Because it's not like we're planning for her to fight Zhang Weili again. So even if she wins, it's like, well, are we really going to put her in this one? But it does allow us to keep her in the conversation. She loses this. Now it really doesn't matter all that much what she's doing anymore. So I think she needs to win this fight to go on a win streak, and then hopefully people start wondering what's next for her.
Renato Moicano, Jalen Turner. Do we see a true lightweight contender emerge from this fight?
I think that's a strong potential, yes. These guys, I mean, Jalen Turner, the run that he was on, we know what he's capable of. Renato Moicano, give that man his money. I think the fans as of late don't recognize how long Renato Moicano has been really, really good. Like, he's been in the UFC a long time, fighting really good guys, and I feel like he's putting things together. He's speaking English. He's, making his desires known. Yeah, we've got two contenders on our hands for sure.
It kind of depends on how the fight goes in my mind. You got one guy ranked 10th, you got one guy ranked 13th, but because the power of the UFC 300 card, if one of those guys are able to get a finish, they'll be able to kind of propel themselves into the top 5 of the division.
It's kind of like Benoit, right? Like Benoit Saint-Denis beat some good guys. And after he beat Matt Favola, he found himself in a big opportunity with the platform and the ability to get through another ranked guy and then grab that microphone and state your intentions, especially if you're Moicano, who has completely changed the way that he is viewed in fighting. It's a big moment. These guys have an opportunity. I do believe that Jalen Turner was already considered to be one of the guys on the short list of who was next in this weight class. Massive chance for Moicano to do that too.
All right, that's the early prelims. We're going to get to the prelims in a little bit, but we are an hour and a half into the show. Actually, an hour and 40 minutes into the show. We have yet to play a game.
Yeah, bro, it's kind of annoying. I'm like, yo, this is like a normal death show. What are we doing?
I need that belt. Let's go.
All right, this is a little slap game. Laura discovered this. Glover Teixeira and Alex Pereira have played this game. Let's take a look at the video and see exactly how we...
Oh, no. I'm not doing that. I hated that game. I hate that. Yeah, I hated it. I mean, Chris.
I don't know if I like this either.
I don't want to play with Laura.
I'd rather her slap me than anybody else. I'd rather her slap me than...
All right.
Wait, Laura can't play this. Who's slapping her?
Slap game.
Yeah.
Time out, Chris.
Right, over here.
Look.
Right over here. Just right there's nice.
Wait.
Okay, so we're going to play in two. Senko gets to pick her opponent. I guess the other two are on a team.
Who wants to be filmed hitting a woman?
I got enough going on in my eye.
I'm gonna go. I'm actually
Please
gonna
don't
go
do this to me. What's the right thing to do here? I want to win.
Wait, Laura. I mean, to be safe, you should probably. And you're going with
that's a good
Chris.
point.
You know,
Take those off now.
Oh, that's true.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna-
okay.
That's gonna mess up your hair.
I am going to. I'm gonna slap first. Bend over.
Oh boy. All right.
So wait.
I start up or
You
start
start
down?
down. You start. Okay.
This is awesome. Oh boy.
How do we say?
Ready to go. All right, here we go.
No.
Oh, wow.
That is
Somebody make a meme of that.
Three slaps.
4 slaps.
What?
See what I'm saying?
Oh my
boy.
God,
All right,
Chris.
turn it around.
Yo, I'm not going that hard. Are you kidding me? You just busted my eardrums.
I had to do it fast.
You have to do it on my face, not my ears.
Chris, power slap rules. Keep the palms open.
You're
Palms
so
open,
fast.
palms open.
Oh God.
All right, here we go.
Wait, let me.
No.
Hold on.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
This is bad optics.
I
can
did.
see it right now.
I did.
Okay, everybody, please.
The pony.
Memes are aplenty. This was
I didn't think
Senko's
about
idea.
the logistics of how it would start.
I think you did.
Yeah, remember Senko
Okay,
came up with this.
Start high. You started. He started low.
start low.
Start low.
He's like bobbing for apples here. Oh boy.
On you.
That's 1, 2. Whoa.
You can't.
Oh wait, I have to wait till you come up? Okay, I'm okay. Go back down, go back down.
DQ.
No.
That is a DQ.
You have to go back down.
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
Oh my God! You gotta come up!
Oh my God.
I got
The memes on this are gonna be terrible.
At least she's on her feet.
I'm tall.
When I looked at Glover,
You chose this game?
Laura picked this game. FYI, this was Laura's choice.
I did not think about the optics.
Bro.
No, I have not been hit yet.
Well, what are we doing?
I just keep going.
Yo,
no,
she's out.
Let's
I
go.
won. No,
Play the
I
game.
won. Yes, I beat him.
Okay.
You're out.
Only because this is bad.
Helly.
I can't
This'll
be a
look way
part of
better.
this.
Look at me. Helly. Bend at your knees. Bend at your knees. Like, use your legs, man. Bro, like, yes, like Pereira did.
You're
Like
way
Pereira
too slow
did.
if you do that.
No, do what Pereira did.
Just get on your knees, Dan.
Ready?
Oh my God.
Like, bend up and down. Ready?
Put your
Go.
head down.
This is gonna be hard.
No, I won't. I promise. I won't.
Smack him.
You're like, it's
I'm-
middle
I'm-
range.
Yo, this is
What?
slap,
Get down
slap
lower,
league,
lower.
dude.
Ready? Go.
You
You can't just tell him to go.
Oh!
Can't down like that.
Come on.
You reached.
Ready?
You can't. You got it.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Be fast, DC. Be fast.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
That was good.
All right.
Wait. Let me get a little squat. I gotta bend my knee.
Oh no, the back's going.
Can't.
Hell, you want some breast knuckles?
Do I go down too?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh,
I like
that's a
one
lot of
down.
distance right there.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Get gravity on your side.
No.
Oh, that was a follow. That was a follow.
Nope.
Yo, be fast.
Straight,
Howard.
right there.
Be fast.
Nope. Oh, he's coming bad.
Oh!
You're done.
Wow.
I'm done with this shit, man.
All right. Spin the wheel.
Not even gonna, they're like, this game
I
is
want
so
Laura
bad.
to spin the wheel.
The game's
I want Laura
over.
to spin the wheel for starting this game.
Oh, well, the snorts out.
Laura,
The
you're
snorts out.
spinning the wheel for doing this game.
didn't.
Laura, you chose this. You're spinning the wheel.
When I watched
Chug
it-
a beer. Chug a beer.
No.
Chug it. Oh, she spins it herself. My bad.
I just want to say, when I watched that video,
When I watched that video, I immediately saw that.
I didn't. Your mind
didn't.
works that way.
I feel like I was set up.
Champs or a shot?
Clock on.
In all of history?
Hell, he's gonna explain.
All right, so you have to. Chris can name any weight class. You have to name 4 champions from the history of the UFC, or you have to take a shot if you can't name 4 champs from that weight class of Chris's
All
choosing.
right.
No.
You're gonna pick a weight class? Just pick a weight class.
Oh, just say it right now?
Yeah, for Snako.
Don't say featherweight.
Strawweight.
1.
All right. 2.
John Whaley, Rose Namajunas.
3. 4.
Stop counting.
5.
6, 7.
6. 10. 7.
Jessica Penne.
9.
And
9. 10.
Jessica Penne did not win the
wasn't
belt.
a champ.
Jessica, that's
Joanna
crazy.
and
Shot.
Jacek, and I didn't even say it.
Wait, no,
She can do
Shot.
a shot.
We don't have liquor. Bartender screwed up. Just chug a Bud Light.
So she has to chug a
I'm
Bud.
not going to chug this whole thing. Are you supposed to do the spinny thing?
I remember my first beer.
Chug.
What is that motion you're making?
Chug. Sank the tank. 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 Sank the tank.
Keep going.
While we let her finish this beer, we'll take a look at this international fight promo.
Oh, my goodness.
UFC International Fight Week returns to Las Vegas. Combat sports fans converge on the fight capital of the world for exclusive access to special events. Honor the new inductees at the 2024 UFC Hall of Fame ceremony. Plus, UFC X is back with athlete autograph sessions, meet and greets, and fan favorite activities. And cap off the week with UFC 303 live from T-Mobile Arena. Don't miss UFC International Fight Week 2024 in Las Vegas.
UFC Fight Week is back June 24th through the 30th, featuring UFC Hall of Famers, UFC X, the immersive 2-day fan experience, and
here, right?
culminates with UFC 303. Visit UFCFightWeek.com. It has been a long time coming for UFC 300, the most monumental event in the history of the UFC. But folks, we're just getting started.
You're about to see something that you have never seen before.
This is a sport, one of the greatest sports in the world.
This is mixed martial arts. This is the sport of the future.
I can see the future.
We're very excited. We want to make this the Super Bowl of mixed martial arts.
Open up the door and fade into.
This is UFC! Different types of disciplines: karate, judo, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing.
Let's go!
I've been around the toughest fighters in the world, but I'll tell you, they could not last in this ring.
Your entire live stream has been this moment, and you are seeing it right now live on television.
Do you want to be a fighter? That is my question. Do you want to be a fighter?
This is where we come alive.
Oh, head kick!
It's not hard to see the past right here in the present.
Look at me now!
Because greatness is a miracle.
That was the greatest flying knee I've ever seen in my life. Wow! A front kick to the face.
There's the tap! She did it! She did it!
And here we go! That's the biggest upset in the history of the sport. Right there.
History! UFC history! Get him a second belt!
It is a night that will live forever.
This is where we come alive.
When one era reflects the other, it's the parallels that make the sport
This
timeless.
is where we come alive.
I know he is afraid of a smack. Do you really think I'm afraid of you, man? Are you crazy in your head, man?
We're gonna fight and see who the best man is at the end. I can submit you. I can out-wrestle you. Bro, I want to get you.
I'll be surprised if I don't knock him out. I'll be surprised if I get hit, to be honest.
I'm gonna pick him apart and beat him, and he's not gonna have the belt.
All of these men and women are connected. They are connected in time and in history.
It is the one we have waited our entire lives for.
Blood, sweat, and tears. What they have helped create together is magical.
Man, these guys are warriors, and we celebrate them all tonight.
UFC 100, who would have thought? UFC 200, unimaginable. UFC 300, and now it feels like we're just getting started.
This is where we come alive.
UFC 300 official weigh-in show brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. File with TurboTax by April 15th to make your moves count. That's just 3 days, so get on it. There is no doubt that UFC 300 will go down as the biggest event in UFC history. I want you guys to go back, all the way back to UFC 1, and remember every single UFC fight night. Can you do that?
Oh my goodness!
Absolutely.
Just pick 3 of your top 3 landmark events in UFC.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, we got those.
All right.
Let's do that.
Cinco?
All right.
We'll start with you.
Number 3. I'm going to go with this one. UFC 300 has to be on the top 3 in terms of just landmark events. I mean, this card, top to bottom, there may not be a McGregor in the main event, but we are talking about, like, democratically speaking, like, beginning to end, this is the most amazing card ever. Number 2, UFC 100, Lesnar versus Mir 2. We talked about that already. The rematch, insane. And then UFC 229, Nurmagomedov versus McGregor. That card, I can't put into words how big it was. It was, in my opinion, the biggest landmark event we've ever had.
All right, I'm going to start with 3. We're going to go with Matt Serra knocks out George St. Pierre. Obviously, I'm biased. I'm from Long Island. So to see a guy from Long Island, he just had won the Ultimate Fighter show, I think against Chris Lytle, and then is fighting for the belt against George St. Pierre. He was the biggest underdog at the time ever in a title fight, and he ends up knocking out GSP in the first round. It was crazy. Number 2, Hughes versus Frank Trigg. When he walked him across the octagon, I think everybody remembers where they were at that moment. And, launches him, from one side of the octagon to the other. Why are you laughing? You don't like that one?
No, I love that one.
That was monumental. Number 1, Griffin versus Bonner. I mean, that's really what kind of led this UFC to where it's at now.
Yeah.
Why is everybody laughing at me?
It's not.
Is it my red eye?
It's your meme, bro.
It's a meme. It's a meme.
I've already started, bro. It's a meme.
Oh no.
Okay.
Maribi, I love you.
Can I do my landmark events?
DC.
Okay. My first one, guys. You remember when the UFC went to New York for the first time? They said that when people were outside of Madison Square, there was announcements, music. It was a whole thing. Amazing that the UFC was able to break into New York. Conor versus Khabib Lar for all the same reasons. Hey, and you want to talk about landmark events? Every one of these UFC Centennial cards, every single one of them, 100, 200, 300, because every time we get to them, it just seems bigger and better every single time. So, yes, I've got the New York City debut. That place was electric. You were there, right?
Yeah.
It was crazy, wasn't
UFC
it?
205. Insane.
UFC like, from the outside, walking to the fight, to the actual fight, then Conor Khabib. I mean, all the stuff that happened after the fight made them both mad. They made them bigger than they ever were. And then obviously 100, 200, 300, they've been just amazing. And it seems to be getting bigger every single time.
Do you ever follow the rules?
This is the rules.
You took 3 events and you lumped it into one.
Because you can't, how do you separate them, right? 100 and 200 were landmark. And then 300 is going to be another massive landmark. Yeah. That was right.
They're all the same.
I think you guys are actually, they're all the same.
They're all the same.
They're huge.
All right. As you guys know, since we're all parents here, it's been spring break the last couple of weeks. For some, it might be going on right now. So we're going to play Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Oh, yeah. We played that before. I like this one.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to start off with an easy one. You guys have your whiteboards?
Yes,
Weidman?
we do.
You're good? Weidman, watch out for the cheater on your left.
No, he's definitely going to cheat out for me. No.
How many sides to an octagon? Easy. Let's go. Stop messing around. All right, turn them over. 8. All right. You don't have that, we have problems. Which planet is known as the red planet? Which planet is known as the red planet? Turn them. Still pretty easy. Mars. Okay. What's the capital of Canada? capital of Canada?
I did not
This
spell
I'm
it right.
not. This might not be. I might be off of this.
We're all different. Quebec? Not Quebec.
Montreal.
It's not Quebec. I think
Ottawa is the capital.
Oh, we are all wrong.
We all had places.
I just went to like the most uncommon word I could find. Winnipeg. I don't know where Winnipeg is, but I was like, that might be the capital.
that could be it.
Way out west. What's the clinical name for a thigh bone? Clinical name for a thigh bone.
What?
What's a thigh bone called?
Yeah, the long
medical
bone in
name.
your leg.
Oh.
There's no way you know it.
Femur is.
What'd you call a rotus?
Radius.
Chris knows a lot.
My mom broke her femur, which is so stupid. I'm an idiot.
What is the longest river in the world? The longest river in the world?
Easy.
I don't know this.
I know the longest one in the United
Not the
States.
Mississippi.
I was
That's
writing
cheating.
Mississippi.
That's
Why
cheating.
would
Now,
you say
you're not
Because I know that's the only one he can think of. All right, turn it.
Oh, you're right. Dang
It's
it.
the Nile.
It's,
Oh, I am
wow.
right.
Good job,
Niall's
Chris.
right.
Good job, Weidman. Hofstra into his
I was
own.
thinking
School
in the
greatness
United
over here.
States in North America.
What's the chemical sign for gold?
Ooh. Dude, I am bad.
Remember the periodic table?
I do.
Two
but
letters
I am not.
for gold.
I don't know.
You can buy gold bars at Costco these days. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, true.
Who gave that to you?
I know the periodic
Who
table.
gave that to
You know what? You know what tungsten is on the periodic table?
No.
W.
T.
Nope.
What's the
Nice try.
largest mammal in the world? What's the largest mammal in the world? It's not Daniel Cormier.
You're stupid.
Yeah. This is stupid. but-
All right, let's flip them. It's a blue whale.
Oh, I get whale.
I don't.
Blue whale. All right, the
It
rest of
was
you
a-
whales are off.
That's a technicality. I didn't know you had to specify which.
There's
Yeah,
a
but
lot
it is
of
a
whales.
type of whale. I was correct.
Julius Caesar was the emperor of what empire? Julius Caesar was the emperor of what empire? Turn him. Roman. All right, good job, guys.
He even put empire. He's feeling a little.
What do you call a scientist who studies rocks? What do you call a rock scientist?
Oh yeah. You don't know this.
Why would I not know this?
Oh.
Wait, what? A scientist?
Okay,
They're
here we
feeding
go.
them
A
answers, I can
scientist who
tell.
studies rock
No,
is
I
a
don't. I didn't-
geologist.
Laura got
Good
it.
job, Cinco.
Damn it!
She
Now I
keeps
know it.
winning, bro.
How long does it take the moon to orbit the Earth? How long does it take the moon to orbit the Earth?
Michael.
All right, let's turn them. All right, 1 month, 1 month.
It's 28 days specifically.
Well,
Okay.
it depends on the.
Fair enough, fair
Depends on
enough.
the
In
month.
February, yeah,
It's
you got
actually
it.
not a
Stand
month.
up, Michael.
DC's
Sometimes
trying
it's a
to
month.
cheat offset.
No, stay right there. Stay right there.
He should not get
All right.
that. If I don't get a whale
If
on a
you-
technicality, he should not get a month on a
If
technicality.
you had 8 dozen eggs, how many eggs would you have if you had 8 dozen eggs? All right.
Let's go. 3.
3, 2, 1. The answer is 96.
Wait, 96? Oh, I thought it was.
We all were wrong. So bad. I used to know my 12 times table.
I did. I know my 12 times are bad.
What state is Mount Rushmore in? What state is Mount Rushmore in?
Okay.
Only because I've been there a bunch.
A bunch? Riding
A
motorcycles?
bunch, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. South Dakota.
Hey. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Tiebreaker.
Let's do it. Come on.
Okay.
You're out.
Yeah.
buddy.
But can I still just play to show you
cannot
guys that
play.
I'm really trying?
All right, tiebreaker
Poor math.
for Chris Weidman and Laura Sanko. What is Conor McGregor's character's name in Roadhouse? What is Conor's character's name in Roadhouse?
Oh yeah. I just watched it.
Fifth graders don't watch that movie.
Billy.
I don't want
Turn it.
Damn it.
Knox.
Yeah, we wouldn't let my kids watch it, but yeah, I remember that. Oh, I get
Yeah.
the belt. Let's go.
Helly.
Yeah, good
All
job.
right, wait. What do I do? I'm spinning the wheel.
No, you take the belt and then
All
you
right.
pick DC.
I know
to
you're
spin the
not
wheel.
used to being.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
After what you did to me, get over with
I
that
didn't.
wheel.
Listen, can we clarify?
You pick the game and you pick me as your partner? I'm a married man.
I'm a married woman. I didn't for 1 minute picture what happening, okay?
I know, bro.
My brain does not work that way.
She's really smart, dude.
I definitely did picture it.
Then why didn't someone tell me? Why did no one say, you know, Laura, that's going to look an awful lot like whatever.
Like what?
And I thought I didn't want to do it with you because I didn't want to slap you. I didn't realize what was going to happen. You know, the worst part was not that.
That was the funny part to me. Is like, ha, 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 someone's going to have to slap me. Won't that be funny? That I didn't
Not
even...
as funny as you spinning the wheel. Let's go.
Shocker. The classics never die.
Shocker?
We hit on this.
So we always get the shocker every time.
I'm not even... Do you know how many
Not even scared?
times... Crank it up. I don't give a shit.
Clearly.
Oh, yeah, she's mad now.
Yeah.
She's fired up. Laura's fired up. Y'all done pissed her off.
Holloway.
No
All right.
reaction, Laura.
Hey,
Don't give her nothing.
let's ask Laura a
No
burning
face.
question while she's waiting. In the late prelims, Diego Lopez, Sadiq Youssef. Diego Lopez coming hot out of the gate in his UFC career. Is he the best Contender Series vet not to win a contract on the show?
Either him or Chris Curtis.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
Yeah.
Barely.
Big balls.
Barely.
Sanko.
I mean,
Barely.
my wrist contracted, but
Barely, Laura.
I live on a farm with electric fences. That's like
okay.
every weekend for me.
All right.
Y'all done
More
pissed Laura
burning
off.
questions. We'll let Sanko take a seat as I set up this next one. Kayla Harrison versus Holly Holm. Will Kayla be the same physical grappler that she was at 155, now at 135?
That is a great question. Whoever wrote that question is a tremendous mind. I think, I mean, that is the question.
Right? That's how you answer the question?
I know. I
Yeah.
did.
You made the question? What was the question?
Had a
Say
feeling
the
she
question one more time, and then you can think about the answer longer.
Will see, this is the problem. Will Kayla be as physical at 135 as she was at 155? I'm going to say yes, because I called her fight at 145, which is the closest comparison we can have. And man, was she physical. I mean, when she can use elbows, that woman looked like she took a hatchet to the face. It was blue.
And she's talked about that too. The electricity's still going through your body right now. It's taking you a minute to process.
Did my hair stand up?
What do you think?
Well, I think she's going to have more of a size advantage. You know, like she's cutting a lot of weight. She's going to go up in weight. So I think she'll be more powerful. And it's funny you mentioned the elbows. I think that's what she's most confident in because during the press
They don't
conference,
have those.
they asked her, what do the UFC fans have to look forward to with Kayla Harrison? And she goes, have you seen my elbows yet? That's what you have to look forward to. So.
I think she'll be a good grappler, physical. She'll gain a lot of weight. I think she'll be as big as anyone Holly's been in the actual octagon with because of the massive weight cut. But I think my biggest concern for her is how does she track her down, right? People have trouble tracking Holly down inside the octagon and making her engage with them in a way that they can get her to the ground.
Well, and it's interesting, too, because that was Holly's style for so long, but then lately, she's been the one putting women on the fence and being the more physical
But
fighter.
that is such a bad, that would be such a bad
It would be a terrible idea.
in this fight.
But can she go, does she still have the speed? Does she still have the wheels
the boxing,
to be able to have that lateral movement that made her so hard, for other people to
But that's exactly what she did in boxing, right? That's how Holly boxed. That's how she fought in the UFC. So that is her base. That is her natural instinct to fight in that way, where she's on the bicycle more than being trained to fight from the clinch.
And this is a big octagon. Big octagon.
Yeah, next question.
Moving on. Calvin Kattar and Aljo. What does a win over Aljo do for Kattar's standing in the division?
It's a big deal. It's a big deal to fight, regardless of whether he's been in that division or not. We all know Aljo's a big guy. I think he's going to fit in perfectly at featherweight. So for Calvin, if Calvin Kattar can go out there and get a win over Aljo, it would say a lot about where he stands in that division and put him back on the track that he was on, previously.
Yeah, I mean, it would be huge for him. Aljo he has the most title defenses in the history of the bantamweight division. I don't feel like he gets the love that he deserves. He is so dangerous on the ground, but his stand-up is so underrated, And so to get a win over him, it would be huge for him. And, especially coming off of such a long layoff, a torn ACL, to come back in against a former champion like Aljo and get a win, that would be huge.
I just think, honestly, I don't know how big it is. I don't know if it's that big a deal. I think it speaks more to the division, being the guy that says, you're not coming up here and making a name in this division based off me. In terms of where it's going to place him, I mean, I don't think it changes much. Even though the division's different now because you have a new champion, he's really he's far back because of the way he's been fighting lately. So I think it'll help, but I don't know that it does all that much, honestly.
Yuri Prochazka, Alexander Rakic. What's at stake for Yuri in this one, other than just a win? What else is at stake?
I mean, I think for a lot of people who don't have necessarily the respect that they should for Alexander Rakic's game, if he were to lose to Rakic, in their eyes, that would be That'd be it. That'd be a big step down. That'd be, oh wow, we're not really in this title picture anymore. So there's a lot at stake here for sure.
Yeah, this is the biggest fight of his career. To go against a guy like Yuri Prochazka, former champion, if he could go out there and get a win, he is one of the next guys
what's at stake for Yuri?
Yeah, this dude is
for Yuri.
Just talk, guys. He was saying good things.
Yeah, well, that's for Rakic. I heard a lot of Rakic out of you, so I thought we were talking about Rakic.
I do, I like that.
But yeah, Yuri, this is a step down now as far as name recognition and
ranking.
Ranking and everything. So it's a big fight. You know, these are the fights he has to win.
Yeah.
If he loses this one, then it looks like his career is winding down.
It just feels like odd in these last couple questions, right? They're great questions, but it feels odd because it feels like the people that have been there, Kattar being the guy at 145, and for Yuri Prochazka, who's been the champion, these fights don't seem to hold as much value as it does for the other guy. It seems like to gain, Aljamain Sterling has a lot to gain from a victory. It feels like Rakic has a ton to gain from the victory, whereas the other two, if they win, well, Calvin Kattar's the bigger guy. He should have beat the smaller guy. If Yuri wins, well, you're the former champion. You should beat the number 6 ranked guy in the world. So it's difficult. It's a difficult spot for those two.
Prelims and the early prelims are in the books in terms of burning questions. We'll get to the main card coming up a little bit later in the show. UFC 300 is brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. File with TurboTax by April 15th to make your moves count. It is time for Rent Free. One fighter, one fight that has been living rent-free in your head since the moment it happened. I will start Holly Holm, Ronda Rousey. It was back in 2015.
Ooh.
Holm was a plus 900 underdog coming into this one. Ronda was just running through every single opponent in the UFC, the first female champion. And then in the second round, the head kick, the ground and pound, Holly Holm thrust herself onto the UFC map with this massive upset. How can you forget that one?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That is a tremendous one. That is a great one. I normally pick really big emotional moments, but I can't get this out of my mind, guys. Renato Moicano at UFC Vegas 85, his post-fight interview.
Oh, yeah.
There was so much to unpack. Pay attention.
FDC,
I'm here with Money Moicano.
You here again? I love you,
Moicano, what a fight.
Can I talk to you a little bit?
Yes.
My father is 62 years old and he had a baby yesterday. So, bora papai, eu te amo. 62 anos botando menino pra jogo. Eu vou ter que ter outro filho. I'm telling him, tomorrow when I get home, I'm gonna get my wife pregnant another time. Because, father, 62 years old, can populate the world, I can too. Money Moicano 3 is coming.
That could have gone on for 3 more minutes. He went from procreation to wanting to be on a SWAT cop so that he could kill the bad guys.
Yes.
And then he plugged his YouTube channel. And then, I mean, there was so much in that.
Awesome.
That's
that
the longest
interview.
DC has held a microphone and not talked.
It was awesome.
But you didn't give up the mic.
Yeah.
You did your job.
Sometimes I take it back. I let Moicano go. Out in my ear, I was hearing rap. I'm like, nope. We let this dude talk.
All right, Weidman.
All right, my rent-free moment is Max Holloway screaming out that he's the best boxer in the UFC when he went against Kattar. The build-up to this fight was interesting because Max Holloway is such a good boxer, but so is Calvin Kattar, so it was a lot of talk like, who is the best boxer in this weight class? And he showed that he was on a different level in this fight. For him to be in the flow state, to be dodging punches, screaming out, I don't know who he was talking to,
that
DC
was me
or
and John Felder.
Bro, I mean, that is unheard of.
He threw 700 punches.
just
In 5
completely
rounds.
crushed
That
Cater,
was
who's so good at boxing.
I've never seen, right? Very rarely do you see the executives get up and go with the guy. Like, we got to get Calvin out of here right now. It was that bad how Max Holloway put it on.
Took a year off.
Ooh, crazy. Speaking of Max Holloway, my moment is this. When he unified the titles in Brazil, he went and fought the King of Rio in Rio, and he put it on him. I was in the middle of Hamilton, and I yelled because I had my phone on in the play, watching Max Holloway do this to Jose Aldo. His boxing looked so crisp. He got his hand raised, and he stood in there in Brazil, and he flipped them. When you can flip a crowd like that, when they're there for one guy and you make them cheer you by the end, that's a big moment. Max Holloway did that in Brazil.
So I got to stick up for our fellow weigh-in show hosts. So Bobby Green, a lot of moments to think about and live rent-free in my head, but his recent appearance on the weigh-in show is the one that went viral the most. All his great exploits that he's done, this is what lives rent-free in my head.
Mackenzie Dern hasn't had ice cream in a while. She looks fantastic.
Sheesh.
Wow.
I mean, you kind of caught me off guard there. Mackenzie, great fighter. I think she's the queen of jiu-jitsu. Anybody gets on the ground with her is going to be have a long night. I just like to see her get a little bit more comfortable on her feet, and understanding what's going on there. When she gets a little more comfortable there, I think she's going to be a force to reckon with.
Bobby Green. That's wrong. Sheesh. You put it back out there.
Did he have to deal with her husband?
Yeah,
at the
Mackenzie's
beginning?
husband got into a little bit with him on Instagram. Not too happy.
No, I think
That's
he
a
tried
compliment.
he actually tried to meet with him somewhere or something.
The guy wanted to fight Bobby Green behind this?
I think so.
Yeah.
They entrapped
Or
him.
jump him.
Kidding me?
They tried to entrap him.
Yeah.
Or he tried. I don't know how it was.
Who tried to? What do you mean?
I think he was texting from her.
Yes.
media or
Mackenzie
something.
was texting Bobby, or sorry, Mackenzie's man was texting Bobby as Mackenzie. So it was like, what's up? And he was like, what's up?
He's doing it like most men would.
Yeah, he got catfish.
Wow.
But
He tried
it
to
was-
catfish
yeah.
my boy.
All's well that it
Oh
ends
my
well,
God.
yeah.
All right. We got more
That
games,
sounds like
guys.
something Helly would do. Helly be on his wife Instagram texting dude. Hey, trying to fight somebody.
I don't know. Wyman might need to worry about Senko's husband after that game, really. I'm just saying.
He's
Who
not on
knows?
Instagram.
You
Thank
need
Yeah, but
full
he's got-
context.
She's got guns.
All right, guys, we're going to play a little game called Sticky Hands here, okay? Check this out. This is how you do it. We have these little sticky hands. Whoever gets the quarter off the table first wins. It's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think it's easy, however.
So everyone in the corner, everyone come on each point.
Okay.
Between the legs.
Each
right
point,
there.
what?
Right
A circle.
Well, look, there's the 4 legs. So go in
Yep,
between each
I
four
see
legs.
it.
In between the legs.
So we go in a circle?
So right here, DC.
I
Go right
see
here,
it.
DC.
You can't practice.
Okay.
Can't get rid of the wrapper.
Then Lord, you'll be right.
Oh,
Where's the camera? I don't want the camera behind my.
Why
behind
you'll be right.
Yeah.
Big butt.
Get the camera over here. Yeah. I don't want the, I don't know. After today, man, we got to make sure we're not doing anything.
What is
with
the
that.
love handles coming out or something? A bad angle?
Well, I just don't want my ass on camera after today. After the shit y'all pulled earlier.
No memes. No more memes.
All right, we ready? Sticky hands. Let's get the quarter. Go.
Oh my God.
It's about volume. It's
This
volume.
is much harder than you think. Oh, I almost had it.
Champs in the building.
You won 25 cents. Congratulations.
Here we go,
Wow.
ladies and gentlemen.
That's
That is strong.
Where'd it go?
He did.
on
Why
the
does
wheel spin?
magic?
Pulled it out over here.
Wheel spin?
All right, here we go.
Hell.
He has to pick a wheel spinner
It's
here.
gotta be deep.
Let's go DC.
Wait, dude.
All right, all
Let's go,
right.
DC.
Bro, like me and you, like
No, Helly's nicer than you.
All right. What's that, DC?
mirror affirmation.
Mirror affirmation.
Oh, that's like a...
We went with the classics today.
Okay.
A good man.
This is just actually how he talks to himself.
Okay,
Yeah,
ready?
He's great at this.
Hey, you good-looking son of a bitch. You get everything you deserve in this world. Your hard work is being paid off. So your salary, all the shows, the great wrestling team, the great life, you've earned it. You're just a poor kid from the north side of Lafayette, Louisiana. You've made it, son. So take a bow, Daniel Cormier. You are the man. You like that?
That was good.
You
I'm
like
proud
that?
of you, man.
That was
You
good.
like that?
That was really good.
Take a bow.
Take a bow.
That's not your
Daniel
first
Cormier.
rodeo with that.
I do it every day.
No,
You
it's
should.
not.
That's good.
I get up in, I get up in the morning and I tell myself how great I am, and I jump up. I get up, and then I do that little foot thing. You know when people jump in the air and their heels click?
Do it.
Can we see it real fast?
Everyone, an example. If you do it
Let's see if you
that one when I'm done with my affirmations.
Don't tear your
like,
Achilles.
You're great. I get up and I hit him with the old. And then I go on my day. I'm on my day. I hit him with that old heel click, and I'm on my day, Chris.
All right, post heel click, post affirmation. Now that you feel so good, can we do a little you better where you guys are coaching up some people on this?
Yes, please. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, DC, let's start with the champ of the main event. One half of the main event, that is Alex Pereira.
Alex Pereira, you better stay up, man. You got to defend takedowns. You cannot lay on your back against Jamal Hill. If you get taken down, put more effort into getting up. You cannot relax as you did with Yuri and try to hold his wrist. You got to be active on the bottom to get back to your feet.
Okay. Jamal Hill, Weidman.
It's me.
Okay, Laura.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Great.
It's okay.
You ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Go ahead.
I'm ready. Poetan. The leg kicks. We're going to use the leg kicks just like we did against Yuri Prochazka. So effective in that fight. It's going to be effective in this fight. You need to dictate the range and the pace. Do not be pulled into any moments of chaos. Keep it clean and use the leg kicks.
I thought you were supposed to do Jamal Hill.
Let's go to Waylon. Let's go to
Set Jamal Hill on the screen.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go Jamal Hill, Weidman.
All right, Jamal Hill. We know he has a powerful left hook, but you're going to have to worry about a varied amount of attacks. He's going to come to the legs. He's going to come to the body with kicks. Make sure you're checking and pressing forward. You need to get in the pocket and throw in there. I think you got the stronger chin, and I think you got the power. So look for that knockout.
You better Zhang Weili, Senko.
Zhang Weili, you better take advantage of the moments of pressure from Yan Xiaonan. You need to counter her. You need to take her down. You need to do what you do, which is tremendous top pressure. Why are we doing this after I've been drinking so hard?
Every show. It's
That was
every
a good
show.
coach.
It's
That was
hard.
good
That was good. That was good. All right. Gaethje, Weidman.
Gaethje, I'd say you go back and you look at your Tony Ferguson fight. Everyone had you as this brawler, but you showed in the Tony Ferguson fight that you are just a well-rounded, technical guy, especially when it comes to the feet. So use your footwork. Don't look for your power shots. Just let it come naturally. Also, don't forget about your leg kicks. Your leg kicks are going to be huge in this fight before you set up your hands.
Why does everybody in Long Island and New Jersey say huge without the H? It's like huge, huge.
If I could do the Trump, I would do it. I can't. I don't have the accent.
Max Holloway, DC.
Max Holloway, you better engage on your terms, and you cannot rush or force anything. Now, Justin Gaethje, today, the new guy, the guy that is better at setting traps, will take you apart if you overextend yourself. Box and box smartly, be ready to check leg kicks, but only engage on your terms. Hey, it's going to be fun. Don't try to force it to be fun.
Charles Dubronx Oliveira.
I mean, Charles, just be yourself. On the feet, stay aggressive. If you get taken down and you are on your back, that is where you are most dangerous. Create space, become offensive, look to grab a leg, look to set up a submission. You're dangerous everywhere. You're comfortable everywhere. This fight is yours if you want it.
DC, Yuri Prochazka.
Yuri Prochazka, presence, be big. Get in front of Rakic. Make him feel uncomfortable the moment he is in front of you. And then be diverse. Be that guy that we have come to expect. The guy that is unorthodox, throwing things from where you don't expect him to come, and force him to fight you. You do not want this fight to be slow. So dominate him with your presence, but also make him fight the fight that you're most comfortable in.
Aljamain Sterling, your buddy Weidman?
Yes. Aljo, don't forget your kicks in this fight. You got such great, diverse amount of kicks that you use. Keep them on the outside. Use your kicks. As soon as he starts coming in and trying to rush for the boxing range, that's when you need to come underneath and get your single leg. Take him down. And when you get on top, we want to stay super focused on getting our position first before we go for the submission. And I think it's going to be a great night for you.
Kayla Harrison making her maiden voyage into the UFC. Great appearance on the weigh-in show. You better.
Kayla Harrison, you better cut off that cage. Holly Holm is going to be using her lateral movement. You got to cut her off. You got to lay hands on her, find her. And once you do, that top pressure, go to work with the elbows, make this an impressive UFC debut, and shake up that bantamweight division, Kayla Harrison.
Nice. Jim Miller winning DC over. What say you?
Jim Miller. Wow, where am I from? Jim Miller, you better remember who you are, man. There's a reason why you're still here. And it's because you do certain things really, really well. Take advantage of every opportunity Bobby Green gives you. Make sure you secure takedowns and don't buy into the talk. Bobby got in your face yesterday. Bobby's really good at getting people off their game with his words. Don't worry about the words. Rely on the experience and make the actions count inside the octagon.
All right, Cody, no love, Garbrandt, Sanko.
Cody, we know what you are capable of when you are on. You are a former champion. If you go out there and believe that you can have the type of performance that you had against Dominic Cruz, you can make that happen, but you got to be smart about it. Mix in the wrestling. Make this a true mixed martial arts bout. The power will be there when it presents itself, but mix it up and keep this a true mixed martial arts affair against another power.
I love that.
Read the screen. Your Easter shirt. A couple of weeks ago, somebody forgot to tell Sanko Easter was a few weeks ago, little bunny rabbit.
I thought it was a very springy shirt when I saw it
It's
immediately.
still spring.
Yeah.
It's April.
I think you're good.
Yeah.
All right, time for Make Your Moves Count, presented by TurboTax, where we will look at some moments in fights for a few competitors in UFC 300 and how these moves could indicate future success if they could do what our analysts say. So hopefully they are listening. Sanko, let's start with you. How can Zhang Weili make her moves count in the strawweight title fight?
Yeah, well, what she does so well here is she frustrates Amanda Lemos into rushing forward, and Amanda Lemos pays for it. She gets cracked with that right hand, and then, of course, we know what happens after that. Zhang Weili is able to get on top and just absolutely decimate Amanda Lemos in this fight. This fight was an example of the work that Zhang Weili has been putting in terms of the wrestling and the ground and pound. She is as dangerous on the ground now as she is on the feet. Against a black belt like Amanda Lemos, she knows how to defend and she knows how to make the most of getting that top position.
Yeah, I'm going Bo Nickal. Bo Nickal. You know the move that you got to make count is your footwork and your striking. I'm showing the whole fight, guys. This is Val Woodburn. You see him feint the takedown there. Feint, feint, feint. Pop the jab with no intent of actually landing. But when he does decide to go, he's got to make those matter. Watch here. Watch when he decides to go here. He hits Val with the left. Then he goes back in with another one. Then he hits him again. Bo Nickal has to keep giving Cody Brundage these ideas that the takedown is coming, because when they do, that happens. He hit him with the left hook, with the right hook, sorry. Jumped out, straight left, uppercut. Bo Nickal's got to be confident in the footwork. He's got to be in. He's got to be out. He's got to be confident in the striking so that when he does need to go and secure a takedown, it is available to him. Bo Nickal needs to show that he doesn't need a takedown. It's only good if he gets one. Yeah, sure.
I love it. All right, here we go. We got Pereira versus Yuri Prochazka. The big thing with Pereira, we have to make sure we don't oversell our hooks and our crosses right away. Let's set up our other diverse striking before you go to the power punches. Like here with Yuri rushed in, and Pereira is just so technically strong. If you rush in against him, he's going to finish you. Oh, I thought we were going into the next fight. Whatever. Jeez.
I love when that happens.
I was going to try to fill for you, but I was like,
no.
Let it breathe.
Let it breathe.
There was a miscommunication. I think there was a miscommunication.
Okay. That was good. That's good. If any of you guys out there think some of DC's analysis or his answers are wrong, just go to UFC in Studio on X and Instagram and TikTok, and you can weigh in on
My answers are not wrong.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying some people
reading
may
my
disagree.
notes as I'm saying.
You are defensive. Holy smoke.
It's bad today. I feel like I've been getting bullied by you guys.
Before
you gotta have a little sip of beer.
You think you've been getting bullied?
Yeah, I do.
Well, how about this guy? We have a special guest coming on set now before we get to our blind rankings game. This is Bruno Silva after his last fight with Chris Weidman.
Hey, Bruno, how you doing? Bruno, we're over here to your right.
Hotter?
Estoy cego.
Hey, Bruno. I know you're faking it, man. I didn't even poke you that hard. That's crazy.
Hey, Bruno.
Hey, man, I'm sorry I poked you in the eyes, though. Apologize.
Hey, Bruno.
Huh? We need a translator.
You're blind, not deaf, Bruno.
Warmer?
He can hear, he can't see.
Chris, do you mind giving the guy a hug?
That
Take
is the
Bruno
best
home, guys.
Bruno Silva, played by our producer, Michael LaPlante.
This has gone too far. Still, not one congratulations from you guys.
Congratulations.
I did say congratulations.
I don't think you did.
I'm the one that jumped on the sword for you.
Did you believe in what you said?
I did not believe it. I did it as a friend, and I paid for it.
Good.
I did believe it.
So tell everybody what you believe.
I'm not doing that again.
Professional. Hey, look at this. I've been looking at your monitor. Move your thing. And look
Oh
down at your
my
monitor.
God! Professional eye poker. I've never poked anybody in the eye in my life. Now I'm the freaking eye poker. This is
I
terrible.
swear, dude, on the movie, there's a movie called Friday where Debo takes the guy's chain and they say he's gonna cry in the car. Chris gonna cry in the car.
It's a bad day for me.
Guys, we're going to play this little blind rankings game. Are you familiar with this? Want me to explain it to you?
No, we need to explain.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw out a name, and you have a 1 through 5 list. You have to rank this name before you know the other names that I'm going to throw out.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a little guessing that's going on.
okay.
All right, so I'll give you an example.
So we don't know what the rankings are about.
Do we write them down?
These are all UFC champions, former champions, current champions. They're on the UFC 300 card. Okay,
Yeah.
They're on the card. So you're ranking where you think they're going to fall on the list after I name all 5 names, but you don't know who's going to be next.
Oh.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Right?
Okay.
Right. So go 1 through 5 on your whiteboards right now, and then the first name you're going to insert them to one of those 5 spots, knowing that I could throw out a different name that you may say, "Oh man." All right, so RJ and I are going to decide who has the best
The fans
list.
on X should decide who wins, but okay, whatever.
Well, we can do both. We can do both. Just go to UFC in Studio. It will be posted there.
Thank you.
And we'll have everybody weigh in. All right, 1 through 5. Are we ready?
Okay.
And 1 is the best, and 5 is the worst? Okay.
Right. All right. Okay. Aljo. Blindly rank Aljo on your 1 to 5 list of fighters of UFC 300 cards. You can't move him later. Wherever you put him now, he sticks. If he's 1, he's 1. If he's 5, he's 5. Charles Dubronx Oliveira.
Guys, I have a question. I have a question, guys.
Card. Yes.
Interim champions also or just champions?
You can't.
Okay.
Make sure he doesn't change his list.
Figure it out. All right, Davison Figueiredo.
Are there only going to be 5?
It's only going to be 5. Max Holloway. And this is the last one. You have to slide him into your final spot. Jessica Andrade.
God,
Mine's good.
Let's turn him over.
Charles, Holloway, Aljo, Figgy, Andrade.
God, you did good, Laura.
I think I did good.
That's pretty good.
I just only have Andrade. I'm only disappointed in Andrade.
Figgy.
Yeah.
Next.
They're all pretty good.
You put your teammate Aljo, but at the bottom, at the very first one.
First one.
Well, you know what?
First
Screw
one.
Aljo. Aljo called me out with the eye poking thing on this show.
All right,
I got
I'm
Max.
on my own now.
I got Max at 1, Charles at 2. I got Andrade at 3, Aljo 4, Figgy 5. I really, the only problem I have with mine is that Jessica didn't defend the belt. But these two, Max more defenses than anyone. Charles right behind him. Aljo, Figgy, I thought that was good. My only problem is Andrade should have been at 5.
Yeah.
Andrade was a tough one.
In 5,
Am I going through
have
mine?
it, you mean?
Well, I got to see everybody's. Has everybody shown theirs before I make
You
my
don't
pick?
need to see Chris's.
Yeah.
Why? Mine's good.
I'm going with Senko.
Senko.
Yeah.
Mine's not good. Mine's the same as him.
Thank you.
Yeah. The belt goes back
I literally
to
have the same
Senko.
as him.
Chris, my feet.
Besides
Will you
my
bring me my belt,
Aljo and
please?
figure switch.
Oh, that was a big difference.
Thank you.
To me.
All right, a little rapid fire. You guys
That's
ready?
actually really fun. We should play that again before the end of the show.
All right, you're going to do it at 3:01 in Brazil.
Back where she belongs.
Okay, you guys ready? Little rapid fire? Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, first question. Who has the potential to leave UFC 300 as the biggest star? Potential to leave UFC 300 as the biggest star.
I'm going to go Jamal Hill. If Jamal Hill is able to to finish, win, knock out maybe Alex Pereira, think about that. Think about that.
Yeah.
Take your
It's
time.
your
This
Is it my turn?
Live television, yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to go outside the box. I'm going Kayla Harrison. I think Kayla Harrison goes out there and completely dominates Holly Holm. She's going to be a monster star.
She could take, what Holly took from Ronda. Let's go Max Holloway. Max Holloway can beat Justin Gaethje in what's expected to be the people's main event. His star would shine brighter than it ever has on this platform.
Can it get brighter?
Has Alex Pereira reached superstardom? You know, his reaction, how people react to him at recent events, it's almost on another level. I mean, we've talked about this. He's a scary dude.
Alex Pereira is absolutely a massive superstar. You look at the video of his meet and greets, it's like thousands of rabid fans. He's a superstar, and he did it without speaking much English.
Yep, it's insane. 100% a superstar already. A win tomorrow night is going to be even that crazier for him.
It would be bigger for him if he wins tomorrow night. But yeah, he's a star. He's about as big of a star as you can be in mixed martial arts. He said it hasn't crossed over into the mainstream just quite yet.
Yeah.
But he said during fight week and around fights and where he lives, there's nothing like it.
By the way, he's only a -130 favorite. This is
As
almost
he should be, though.
almost
As he should
a
be.
pick 'em in this fight.
As he should
That
be.
doesn't surprise you at all?
No, it doesn't matter that he's a big-time star and a bigger star than Jamal. When you look inside the fight, it's a very close fight.
Chances that Alex Pereira, if he wins, fights at 301 in Brazil. Percentage
chance if he wins, he fights. I mean, 15?
He said he wants to do it, so 15, okay.
I just think it's going to be a hard fight.
5%.
Yeah.
5% chance.
Very, very low, 10%, because he's got to win, and he's got to win fast.
Yeah.
But he has been winning fast.
Yeah.
Maybe.
True or false, is Jamal Hill the hardest hitting fighter that Alex Pereira has faced in MMA?
Yes, he is. True.
Yes, he is. True.
True. Yeah, true.
All right, most likely to get the next lightweight title shot with a win, Gaethje, Max, Du Bronx, or Arman?
I think Gaethje. I think Gaethje.
It depends on how the finish goes.
Yeah, it does.
But I'll go Du Bronx.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Holloway, because the champ and Holloway are already going back and forth with each other, right? It's already happening. So you can see it building all the time.
Yeah.
Yan Xiaonan is the second biggest dog on the card. Are people putting too much stock into her Carla Esparza loss, or is she priced correctly?
What do you know the odds off the top of your head?
I can give it to you right now. She's plus 370.
I think that's a little steep. It's MMA, but yeah, she's up against Zhang Weili.
Yeah, Zhang Weili is so good, so the odds are probably there for a reason. But she's been looking so good recently that I think it's a little closer than the same.
I don't think it's an indication on Yan Xiaonan at all. I think it's just that Zhang Weili's really, really good, right? And when you get these really good champions, that's generally how the odds look.
Weili is pound for pound the #1 female fighter in the world.
100%.
For years.
100%.
Absolutely, for years. And the female fighter of the year every single year. They just haven't been giving it to her.
She reminds me of Ilia Topuria in the women's division. Like the way she moves on the feet and like
so
her
good.
balance and she's
It's crazy too because like this card is so great. It's such a great card that we talk about these big fights, Gaethje, Holloway, and then the main event. Zhang Weili and Yao Xiaonan is a crazy fight.
Yeah.
And Zhang Weili is really, really good at fighting. I wish I was as good at fighting in my prime as Zhang Weili is.
She's very good. By the way, Alexa Grasso, #1 on the UFC pound for pound for the women.
Because she beat Valentina.
Of course, because she beat Valentina. Yeah.
Zhang is too. Okay, Kayla Harrison. Does she get an immediate title shot with not just a win, but an impressive win?
Yes. Yes. They need her in that division.
Yes, her star power is going to be insane if she gets a win over Holly.
She just needs to win. I think the girls in the last fight just kind of dropped the ball. They didn't give the fight that they needed to have to make them feel good about them leading the division. So, yeah, she wins. I think she'll fight for the belt.
More impressive, Bo Nickal being on the main card or Jim Miller fighting in 100, 200, and 300?
Jim Miller.
Yeah. Come on, easy.
Yeah.
I mean, Bo Nickal being on the main card is pretty damn crazy.
It is pretty
Look
crazy.
Look at that, you got 12 champions or something like that on this card,
You
former
really
champions.
disrespect Jim Miller. In this
You know what's crazy, Chris?
No,
When
I
you
love
put
Jim
it in
Miller,
those terms,
but
Chris.
It's Bo Nickal's on the main card over all these dudes, and he's fighting Cody Brundle.
It's not 100, 200, and 300.
Wait, hold on, though. Charles, Justin, Max, Zhang Weili, Jamal, Alex, 6. There's 12 champions on this card.
It is a big deal.
6 of them are fighting before Bo Nickal fights.
Most wins in UFC history.
Yeah, I think Bo Nickal being on the main card is crazier than the longevity.
Who do you like most in their new weight class? Kayla Harrison, Max, or Aljo?
Max. Oh, wait, Aljo too. But probably Max. I'm going Max.
Well, Holloway already was up at 155.
It was a while.
Yeah.
It was a while
It was a while
ago.
It was
ago.
different, though. Different circumstances.
So I eliminate him on that basis. But then I'll go with, I got to go with Aljo. I think it's going to be interesting to see how he does with this extra weight.
Kayla for me, man. She did judo at 170. She's fighting 135.
But you like her here?
I like her at this weight class.
I mean, I wish.
She's almost like the savior of the weight class at this point.
I just wish we had the people at 145 for her to have a life there.
You think, yeah, because, I mean, that would be ideal.
That's what I'm saying.
At 135, she actually has fights.
I like her being here.
You could fight at 145, but then have nobody to fight, like Amanda.
Yeah.
Or you can be at 135 where you got girls to compete against. I like her at 135.
I feel like the connotation of the question was like, who's healthier at this new weight class? And I just don't think it's like her ideal weight class.
Well,
but she's going to make the most of it.
Is it sustainable? Is the question? Because she does cut hard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Was it about health?
And how's the conditioning?
No, this was. I think this was about who we determined could do the most
Add
damage.
more value to the weight
in
class.
this weight class.
Oh, well, then I changed it to Kayla Harrison.
Okay. What weight class will define UFC 300? Light heavyweights, we have 2 big fights. Lightweight, 4, or just women's MMA in general, there's 3 big fights.
Lightweight.
Lightweight.
Okay.
Yeah, lightweight.
Which fighter not in a UFC 300 title fight, including BMF here, will be the next to fight for a title?
Say it again?
Which fighter on this card who's not in a title fight, including the BMF, is going to be the next to fight for a title?
Kayla.
Okay.
Going Kayla, too.
Yeah, I think she's going to fight next to her. Charles Oliveira also.
Or Justin.
Armand.
Cater.
Oh, no, he's in a championship fight, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, who is the star of the prelims for you and why?
I mean, I know I keep saying her name, but Kayla Harrison. I've waited forever to see her in the UFC.
You know, I would say Aljo, but after how he disrespected me in the beginning of the show, I can't go with him. I'm going to go with Jim Miller. I mean, listen, UFC 100, UFC 200, UFC 300. People love him. He's getting the respect that he deserves. Let's go, Jim Miller.
Man, are we talking like, are we being predictive? Like, who we're going to be talking about after the fight? Like, it was the star of the show?
Good question.
No, just like right now, who's sticking out to you?
I mean,
it's
always the biggest name, right? Who's the biggest name on the prelims? I think the biggest name on the prelims would probably be Aljamain or Holly Holm because they're former champions that people know. So
I bet Cody
start
Garbrandt.
of prelims is Cody Garbrandt. Everybody loves Cody. Yeah, everybody loves Cody.
All right. I lost my last question.
It's okay.
We're good. I feel like you guys have done it.
It's
Oh, no, I got it.
Okay.
Whose outfit will reign supreme? Buffer, Megan O'Leary, or Dean Thomas?
Ooh.
I mean, Megan's fashion sense is phenomenal.
She dresses really good.
She dresses great. But Bruce Buffer, we know how much thought he has put into this for, I'm guessing, months. He'll probably have outfit changes. I think Megan is a phenomenal dresser, but I got to go with Bruce only because the thought that has been...
Yeah.
I'm going Bruce Buffer. I mean, that guy and his suit game is on a whole different level than I've ever seen. So, Bruce Buffer all the way.
I think I like it, but I got to say, Dean's going to try hard. Bruce is going to try hard. Megan's going to look good and classy without trying. And that, for me, is what stands out. I think she's going to look phenomenal, and she's not going to try hard. It'll be something that is UFC 300 appropriate without being too much. Because ultimately, the show's about the athletes, right?
100%. Love it. UFC 300 brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. File with TurboTax by April 15th to make your moves count. All right, speaking of moves, there are moves and then there are moments. We're talking top 3 moments that defined the UFC, like Weidman knocking out Anderson Silva, like Daniel Cormier becoming the double champ. There's so many great moments. All right. He's taking a breath.
No, I read the wrong card before. I already gave these answers.
Yeah,
when you guys were laughing at me,
what you were doing.
Okay,
all right, we'll skip you. DC, you're up.
Okay, for me, the chaos of Conor Khabib. That chaos, right? I remember how Khabib went from 2 million Instagram to 10 overnight because he was fighting with Conor McGregor outside the octagon. The second moment was when the UFC went to Canada and George St. Pierre fought Jake Shields. There were 60,000 people in there. It felt like, okay, this sport is now real when you're selling out stadiums. And number one, when the UFC sold to Zuffa, for $2 million way back in the day. And then when the UFC sold to Endeavor, those are the moments that matter because every time it's sold, it got bigger. When it went from the original owners to the Zuffa era, we got the Ultimate Fighter. When Endeavor bought it, now you have the advances in the sport as we have had today, purchase of the WWE and everything else, combining them, TKO holdings, all that came after the UFC sold to Endeavor. So those are the moments that matter in the history of the UFC.
All right, number one, I have Conor McGregor knocking out Jose Aldo because to me that was the moment. He was going to be great, he was going to be awesome, but that was the moment that made Conor Conor. And that forever pivoted the way that we looked at him and therefore the way that we look at the sport. Number two, Ronda's arrival. You have to understand that as a woman in this sport, this was not a viable career option until that one woman showed up and changed everything. So for women, that to me, like, it's pivotal. And then number three, coming back in the pandemic. Guys, do you remember how crazy that was? Like, we were the only ones operating, still doing live sports, still doing anything. We're flying to Abu Dhabi. We're renting islands. We're getting tested 50 gazillion times a day. We're in, quarantine. When you look back on it now, it was absolutely crazy that Dana White and his circle made that happen against all odds.
It's amazing what he pulled off. Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And by the way, the growth of the sport during that time, because we were the first ones to come back, has been
like him.
Unbelievable.
I remember everybody kind of following what the UFC did first. You remember getting off that plane in Abu Dhabi?
It was
hazmat
so
seats.
scary.
You walk straight up to the next level to get tested, into your room for quarantine. We're like, dude,
you couldn't touch your luggage.
They're giving you
anything.
food. It's like prison. Boom, 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 boom. They put a thing on your door. You walk out, get it. But guess what? When I got there, they gave me a putting green. They gave me a basketball court in my room. I had everything.
Are you kidding
me?
In
Abu Dhabi, I had a basketball court in my room. I had a putting green. And I had my video game. It was awesome. I had 48 hours to be a 11-year-old kid.
They accidentally didn't feed me one day.
They didn't feed you.
You got a putting green?
Oh, my God.
This man is playing golf. I'm just
that's
laying in
amazing.
bed. I just want to
I had a sauna. I had a putter. I had everything.
You jumped the shark.
I swear.
Let's go a little burning question in the main card, all right? Pay-per-view kicks off with Bo Nickal and Cody Brundage. What makes Bo Nickal different than all of the wrestlers that have come before him?
Different. His reputation. I think his reputation, his mind, you see the way that he is able to talk on the mic already at this stage. I think it's the way that he operates and the way that he approaches this game.
The big thing, to be honest, is the timing. The way the sport has progressed at this point, and it's perfect timing for a guy like that who is such a credentialed wrestler, could talk on the mic. And now UFC's in the game a little bit about kind of like bringing up fighters.
You're right. Social media.
Dude, you fought Mark Munoz in like your second or third
Yeah.
fight, didn't you?
Yeah, short notice fights.
Short
and
notice,
always
yeah.
the best guys. Damian Maia, short notice. Like, you fought the best guys at that time. Now you see a guy with that much potential, they're going to work with him a little bit. Look, there's a reason why he's on the main card of UFC 300 above these other guys that are so credentialed.
The potential.
And they got him against a guy like Cody Brundage.
Don't
And he's the
disrespect
biggest underdog of all time.
Yeah.
On the biggest card of all time. It is out there for the taking. It's on a plate.
They understand the building of it a little bit better now today. When I got here, I fought Frank Mir right away, right? So it's like you fight great guys earlier. But for me, with Bo Nickal, I think it's his ability to look down the line. He's already looking down the street. He knows what's on the horizon. That's why he took the time away to get better. He's like, I need to make sure that when I get to that place,
I'm ready.
I'm prepared and ready for it. He's doing well financially. He's smart. He can fight. And there's the expectation that he can strike. They all thought that we were great wrestlers, but they didn't know that we could box. Bo Nickal has this idea that his mom was a boxing coach. This guy can box already. So you feel like the ceiling is much higher for him. I think he can't miss. I really do believe he can't miss. He's going to be a champion.
Oliveira and Sarukian. Is Arman going to take this fight to the ground?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's within those transitions that it's going to get very scary. As soon as he's in half guard and he's in a good position like that, he's good. But in those transitions, getting him to the ground and dealing with any scrambles, Oliveira just latches onto things, and he's so aggressive. It's going to be interesting.
I forgot that this was burning questions and not rapid fire, so that's why I just went.
You got a little bit more.
No, but it is a little bit rapid fire. No, we're going rapid fire sequence here.
Well, I just think if Armand. What Armand does really well is he shuts down the space, and Charles Oliveira needs space on the ground to operate. So the second that Armand Sarukian looks to be offensive with ground and pound, Charles Oliveira is so good at occupying space and finding ways to invert or like look for leg entanglements. And Armand Sarukian has not faced a grappler like Charles Oliveira.
What I think about Sarukian is when a guy tells you all the time, my freestyle wrestling. He doesn't say wrestling. My freestyle wrestling will be the difference. I'm like, this dude is spending time dealing with the little details of wrestling that will kill jiu-jitsu. He's ready to do this. And this guy, by beating Beneil Dariush, is a little different than the other prospects that get the opportunity. He's fought the top 5, and he was successful there. He has no doubt that he'll beat Charles Oliveira. I know that's a tough thing to do. But he also has those experiences with Makhachev on short notice, fighting him to a decision, winning a round against someone. He's a very dangerous guy, and he is getting overlooked.
Okay. Producers are telling me they want a little more rapid fire than meet the press on these next 3. Okay. Gaethje versus Holloway. Is this version of Max Holloway better equipped at 155 than the one that fought Poirier?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. He's put on size. He's done it right this time. He's got more notice. Yeah.
Yep, he had more time to put up the weight on. I think he's ready to make a mark. And he doesn't know if he's going to go down to 45 again or he's going to stay at 55. You know, we got Makhachev calling him out. So I think he sees himself here for the long run.
Twice he's tried. Remember, he had the problem with Khabib where he couldn't make the weight. They shut it down. Then he fought Dustin on 5 weeks' notice. He didn't have time. This time he had time, and he feels like he's ready to do it. Yeah, he's much better.
Yan versus Zhang Weili. Is this the most important fight for a singular country in UFC history?
Yes, because of the population. I mean, when you talk about, it's almost like I would rephrase it. It's important for the UFC to stake a claim in a market that has had no one to look to up until this point. It's a big deal to have country versus country. Other than U.S. versus U.S. and Brazil versus Brazil, who else?
Doesn't really happen.
It doesn't happen.
Pereira.
So for China versus China, it's a big deal, and that the history of martial arts in China, yeah, I think it's.
Yeah, I think it is, and only because the population of China, like she said, and China is very hard to get into. Like, get in there as far as, you know, being able to show the fights and getting people to, you know, really come around and be fans. And to have two women fighters like this at the pinnacle of the sport, to represent this one country, I think is a game changer for China and the market.
There's nothing more important than seeing someone that looks like you at the height of a sport. It gives you belief that you can do it. And so for the Chinese market, and for Chinese women, and mixed martial arts in particular, there's never been a bigger night than there will be tomorrow night in the UFC.
Main event, Alex Pereira, Jamal Hill. Should Hill respect Pereira's stand-up more? He's been a little dismissive in terms of when he's studying and more talking about himself as opposed to dissing Alex. But should he be maybe a little more respectful, or is him being a little dismissive a good thing?
I think he is dismissive outwardly, and I think inwardly he is very analytical. I mean, I think that Jamal Hill studies the game. He studies the minutia of the game, and he knows where Alex is less than perfect. And if you talk to striking coaches, there's a lot of guys who are like, you know, Alex Pereira isn't really how you would teach someone to strike. I mean, it's hard to knock on a guy who has achieved so much.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so hard to look for, like, well, Alex shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on.
But
it works for him.
It works for him. But when you talk to guys, you know, who teach striking, they're like, yeah, but that's not really how you're supposed to do it. So I can understand how Jamal, watching that footage, goes, I could get him there, or I could get him there. So yeah, I think Jamal Hill's approach this very analytically.
And he gets away with it a lot because of how big he is too. He's so big. He's got such good range and
he's
his
not
power.
He's just an average light heavyweight. I don't want to say average in terms of skill, but the size.
And Jamal Hill, he's a big dude who hits really hard. I think the X factor in this fight is Jamal Hill needs to be able to, he might be dismissive with the punching power and maybe his technical skills as a kickboxer, but you can't be dismissive with those leg kicks because those leg kicks will add up And then Jamal Hill's not going to be able to think about landing those good shots on the chin like he wants to, because Pereira's chin has been touched a lot. You know, there's been moments of, you know, he's been finished, he's been dropped, he's been wobbled, and even a lot of the fights that he won. Jamal Hill, I don't think really even's been hurt inside the octagon. So he has a lot of confidence with his chin. He's willing to, I think, get inside the pocket and trade with him. And I think he believes in his power and his chin. The key is those leg kicks on the outside. You better not be dismissive of those.
I just think that he should wrestle a little more. That's it. Take those takedowns as they come. Don't be intent on just standing there. You don't have to prove anything.
Yeah, but if you're not used to shooting takedowns, you know what that does.
It does make you tired, but still, bro,
you're uncomfortable.
But it's not like he's making him work all that hard to take him down. Kind of just falls. I like Alex. Like when he just kind of falls when they grab his leg.
But you think he was working that during the camp? Because it can't be one of those things that you're just doing inside the octagon tomorrow night. You have to have been training this.
He's wrestling. He just doesn't seem to have great balance. Part of that is
I'm talking about Jamal Hill. Do you think he was training to get the takedown?
He had to have been.
For sure.
If he's smart, he has been.
All right. We're going to take a short break. We're going to have a message from our presenting sponsor, TurboTax, while we get set to a little baseball outside.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah?
Let's go.
Marcus is a connoisseur of anything that's free. So he was happy to read the disclaimer on TurboTax Free Edition.
Roughly 37% of taxpayers qualify. Form 1040 and limited credits only. See how at TurboTax.com. That's me!
File your taxes 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition and get your max refund guaranteed. Make your moves count. See if you qualify at TurboTax.com.
This is history in the making.
For over 30 years, the faces have told a story of evolution, courage, and of unwavering belief. Moments that defined eras.
Oh my! He slapped him!
From one punch to the next, that made the world stop what it was doing.
This is an incredible display of courage and skill.
And share in the awe. Moments that sync the heart of a fighter with the beating heart of the fan.
Please! I want the belt so bad! Give it to me!
Because the chance at glory, to win, to shine or to fail on such magnificent terms, has always been the ledge that thrills our sense of purpose. That do-or-die crossroads, where the truth above all else will always be told. This sport belongs to everyone. It's become the soundtrack to our lives.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
There's not a single muscle on my body that isn't for a purpose, because I'm not a do-nothing bitch.
For those who let out the battle cry knowing that passion is the universal language. For those who had no shot, the underdogs that wouldn't be denied. Those who have never had it in them to quit. Who can dig deeper than humanly possible. Who are willing to give it all for just one shot.
I come to fight, no matter what happens, I keep coming and trying to knock people out.
To the GOATs, the great rivalries, the timeless wars that were waged, and the prices paid for every magical place and every deafening scene. To the incredible acts of perseverance, to have made that walk is a bond that will never break. For to be a fighter means never to be forgotten. The truth has always been better than fiction. No sport is as alive. This is where fates can swing in the blink of an eye. Tables turn. Champions break through in the most dramatic ways possible. There are near misses that can haunt forever. Hail Marys that are answered. It's more than hunger. It's an obsession to win. Every clinch, every exchange, every scramble to conquer. From one punch to the next, connected through 30 years, from UFC 1 to UFC 300. What a thing of beauty. it is to behold.
All right, we're back, and we're outside as these two children are smacking each other. We're going to play a little dizzy bat game. Since Senko is the champ, you get to pick your teammate for dizzy bat. Here's the key, though. Before you step up to the plate, you have to chug a beer, and then you go around 10 times, and then you hit.
Okay. A couple things. First of all, you guys didn't even remember that I was champion because we're so used to it by now that we didn't even celebrate it. But yes, I am champion. Second of all, I am going to chug a percentage of a beer that is based on body weight. So we're going to go with half.
Wait, you make the rules now?
Well,
yeah, I do because I'm the champion.
Apparently.
I weigh 117, okay? So we're going to do half a beer.
Congratulations. That's a nice weight for a lady. Great job, Laura.
Jesus. Okay, you're my teammate because I'm not going anywhere near Chris.
All right. Let's go, my man.
Let's go, Ellie.
All right. Do you want to go first? Or you want us to
I'm
go
going to
first?
have them go first because we're going to check out the technique.
Okay. Who's going first?
All right.
They're going first.
So I'll pitch first.
You're going to pitch first? Okay, Wyman's going first.
They pitch to each other.
Oh, I'm hitting first?
No, you're hitting first.
Okay.
Oh, you're left.
Chug a beer
No,
first.
we're right.
Chug a beer
Oh,
first.
We're going this way.
Yeah.
So you have to chug
There
a
you go.
beer, and then you spin around
So
10
Wait,
times.
you're pitching to me?
Yeah, it's like a little soft toss.
Wait, I'm chugging this.
Chugging the beer, and then you know how to do spinny bat?
Yeah.
10 circles.
all right.
I gotta
I'll
take the
spin.
biggest piss already. This is terrible.
Just drink it. Hurry up, dude. Let's go.
No, I need this.
He needs
I
the bat to
bat.
spin.
Beer first.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
You guys count. You guys count as 10.
We will count.
Well, let him chug the beer. It's a
All
little
right, you
harder
ready?
out of a bottle.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Chug! Oh, you're a squirter.
Good Lord.
Okay. Keep it going, dog.
He's doing great.
The clock's on.
Oh, no,
You're doing great.
pitching to each
You're doing great.
No, I'm going to toss it.
You're doing great. Somebody take his bottle.
Yeah.
Somebody take his bottle. All right, 10
Okay.
spins.
Start
10
spinning.
spins.
1, 2,
2,
Oh my God. It's the slowest spin ever.
3,
4,
4. We should make it less.
6,
7.
7,
I got pee.
8.
8,
9,
9.
It's a workout.
10.
10. All right.
All right.
Holy crap.
You ready? Here. You stand in the batter's
Let's go.
He can't even stand.
Right.
That's one.
That's one.
That's one. Here we go.
1.
Yeah.
There we go. That's 2. Next one.
Go.
Next
Beer.
one.
I need a beer. I need a beer.
Oh.
Here.
Oh, Jesus.
No,
Sorry. Soft
Sabotage.
hands. Soft hands.
Let's go.
I mean,
Good job,
I'm impressed. Pretty good.
Go, Chris.
Nope.
Go, Dan.
Nope.
1,
How many balls?
2.
Oh, Jesus.
3,
This is excruciatingly slow.
4,
He's gassing out.
Don't pass out.
Halfway there.
6.
He's old man spinning.
7.
I'm getting dizzy.
He's an
Can you even make it?
8. 2 more.
It might throw up.
9.
It's 2 strikes if you puke.
Wow.
Throw up or full.
Oh my God.
All right, 10. Here we go.
Go.
Here we go.
Go.
Hit it.
I can't see
Pitch,
anything.
Chris. Yep.
No.
Yep.
No, it went backwards.
Great job.
Yes.
Fair. Fair ball. Nope.
Terrible.
I thought you said no foul.
No fouls. There we go. That's
Yeah.
2. Stop.
Time.
148.
I feel good, dude.
I don't feel good.
That was really hard.
I don't feel good.
Someone get him a bucket.
You want to drink first, or you want to hit first, or hit second?
Listen, we all know I'm not going
I
to be able to
understand,
hit
but do
this.
you want to hit first or second?
You can do it.
And you're really not going to
Okay,
be
you
a
can
big
hit
girl.
first.
The time to beat's 148.
Are you asking me to open your twist off beer?
Yeah, make sure I have
Okay,
half,
just wanna
half
make sure.
a beer ready.
UFC champion.
Hold on,
Stop.
dude.
He's cheating.
Give him a new
already.
beer.
Drink,
now
drink
drink
it.
Now
Drink it.
with the
Drink it.
thumb. That's what
Go.
you get.
No, we're rolling. We're rolling. Time's going.
Oh, he's actually fast.
That is.
You got this.
That's not done. That's not done. That's
Finish.
not done.
Finish.
Bro, it's all suds.
Yo.
It is
called-
now.
It is all
That's a
suds.
cheater.
That's a 10
He's
second.
disqualified.
That's a 10-second loss.
1,
Yeah.
2. Who looks like an old man now, bitch? 3, 4,
Oh my God.
5,
5,
Stop.
6,
7,
nope.
7. Head down. Head
7.
down.
8.
8.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right?
9. Slowing down.
9.
Footwork. Look at that footwork.
Don't face that.
10.
Hey,
All right.
you got this.
Don't hit the camera. All right, here we go.
Find your bearings.
Here we go, buddy.
Find your bearings.
No one's gonna catch him.
Laura's bad. Laura's bad.
Ready?
It's bad. It's bad.
Watch it. Watch your backswing.
Okay, go.
Nope. Nope. There we go. That's a connection.
Sorry.
And
Foul.
I'm sorry.
Foul, strike
I'm
two.
terrible. Go.
There we go.
Half
Laura.
a beer. Where's my half a beer? Okay,
my
take
God.
time off my clock.
Oh, no. Did same thing happen to me.
That's
Laura, half.
That already was
half. That's not half.
That's not half.
That's
bullshit.
Half.
That's not half.
That's not half.
Look, it's not half.
Laura.
Cheaters.
Good. Go.
All right, fine.
That's
I
not
already
half.
drank one.
Laura, 2.
2.
That's 1.
1, 2,
3.
3.
4. Faster.
5.
You have to put your head on the
head
bat.
down.
Head has to be
6.
on the bat.
7.
7.
Her head's not on the bat.
8.
8. 9.
Laura in high heels is better than this than all you guys.
10. Come on, Laura. 10. Turn. Turn.
Oh, don't fall.
Turn, Laura.
Oh, no, she went down. She went down.
Oh,
Disqualification. Yeah!
By TKO.
I almost went down.
Winner by knockout.
Champions!
Shit!
Weidman and Nelly.
This is great.
Look,
Go.
okay?
Yeah, let me help you up.
I was all.
Thanks,
Well
guys.
done.
Gentlemen.
One of us was
You go.
already halfway.
Here we go, baby. Hard work
almost
pays
threw
off.
up.
You know,
I almost
teamwork makes the dreams work.
I almost
That's right,
threw up
baby.
and I almost threw up and fell down. It was bad.
You guys are old.
Dude, what?
On a serious
Did
note,
you
before
see me
we.
kind of going like?
Yes.
That was
I love that. That was the best part.
That was
I gotta
fun.
see it.
Good
You
job.
and Laura both literally
Good
fell.
job. Good job. On a serious note,
Yeah,
before we say goodbye, our producer Cody lost his father this week. He's with family, not able to be here. So thoughts and prayers with Cody's family. This is an unbelievable week, an incredible card. Proud to be sharing it with you guys here on the official UFC 300 weigh-in show, and many more to come.
Yeah, many more to come. Many more to come. It was a great weekend. Cody, we're thinking about you, buddy. We all love you so much. Hey, come here, boy. Now my boy's birthday real quick. Little Michael. Happy birthday to Michael.
Let's go. Happy birthday.
Get him a beer. Michael. Let's get him a beer.
Come on, get in here too, man. You're his brother. Get in here.
Roll the guy on the
Get in
show,
here.
too. All right, everybody.
Yeah, get in the middle. Get in the middle. All right, there you go. You're good.
Oh,
Let's
we got
roll
the
out,
clips
boys.
up.
Look.
Thanks
Oh,
for
that's
watching,
Easter
everybody.
Oh boy.
Oh man, so much fun on the desk.
What a show.
Dude, this show,
Hey, can I tell you something? I got reprimanded for asking too many questions, for being too good at my job. Stop asking questions is what the purple they told me in my ear. Thinking, get out of here. That's what we do at the weigh-in show. Look at this. It got fun. It started like a normal show, but then it got
The
really
whole
fun.
bottle is down there. That's crazy.
That was awesome.
Sank the tank.
Funny
That's all
how
I
that
want from
works.
now on.
Sank the tank. Sank the tank. That was
Sank the
awesome.
tank.
Oh, look at Happy
What a
DC
show.
skipping around. Oh, Lappy making an appearance.
Oh, yeah. Yo, what about when I almost, let me see, I gotta see. Oh, wait,
wow.
Weidman, that was pretty good, Weidman.
By the way, you really do
Walk
get
off.
dizzy.
You get really dizzy.
Yeah, sometimes you fall over.
It feels like you're gonna fall down and
Ow.
just sit.
I was also
is so
in
good.
heels.
Thanks for watching,
I just-
everybody.
Oh!
Thank you for watching. He went down. Please fall.
Man, that was crazy.